Coming to you live from the warmest room on fucking planet Earth, as you can tell from my very shiny face. We are here with Game 1 of an Elimination Series Division 2 of the Irish Dota League Season 7. Taking through it myself and my wonderful co-caster, Brewmaster, aka Auntie. Auntie, how we doing?
10
Yeah,
seconds remaining.
always hot apparently this week. I heard it's going to last at least another week at this temperature. So looking forward to that. We love the weather supporting the Irish League. Shout outs to the
Indeed.
sponsors. Lich, oh, I mean, how great would it be to be Lich?
I would hug his Ice Spire with all my might. Let's have a look at the picks so far. So, a quick note before we get into this game, folks. We actually have two stand-ins for 5 Stuns No Brains this evening. Dragon is standing in Joe's stead. Dragon normally playing for the team Dark Side of the Map this season, played for Motion of the Roshan last season. And Red Rabbit, who I believe is also on Dark Side of the Map this season, was also Motion of the Roshan last season, is going to be standing in for You'll Never Walk Alone Jam Apple. Once we get through that, let's look at these picks. So the Tusk Lich pick from 5 Stuns No Brains, these are their two most played supports in this league. Obviously, they have different players this time, but Jam Apple also a Lich spammer, so not surprising to see him pick that up. On the Chumps people, we see the Pudge, which we're going to have a bit more discussion on. We also see the Underlord, which would be Jesse James. Where do we think this Pudge is going on to?
I would assume mid at this point in time.
10 seconds
It's a bit of an
remaining.
odd first pick support, I think, for a stack like the Chumps.
5 seconds remaining.
I don't know what the ban rate of the Pudge is out against him, or if they've played it previously. Do you have any data on that, Ronenzo?
I have no previous games of them playing Pudge this league, but I didn't have the time to look into the individual Dota buffs, so maybe they play it a lot, in their pub games. Next pick up is the Timbersaw. See, why we don't have any Pudge picks on record, Local Man plays some weird shit mid. We've seen him pick up the Morana numerous times this league, the Magnus numerous times. Feels like Pudge is in the same wheelhouse as those two heroes.
10
Yeah, I'd agree
seconds
to that. So I
remaining.
think that probably gives me more confidence to suggest it's mid. Although the
5
Snapfire is
seconds
picked up,
remaining.
I think we tend to see mid Snap more in the higher brackets and support Snap a bit more trendy in the lower divisions here. But it's a pretty nice lane with Underlord, assuming they're laning it as Pos 4 here.
Certainly, I mean, this hero is good wherever the fuck you put it these days. Put it mid, put it 3, put it support. It's fabulous in every role. 5 Stuns, No Brains. This is confusing me. We're seeing a lot of OD in Division 2 the last couple weeks and
Yeah.
in Division 3. It's a hero that is always good in games with lower MMRs, but God, the hero fucking sucks right now.
10 seconds
Yeah, I mean
remaining.
it's kind of okay into Pudge
5
Underlord
seconds
Snap
remaining.
maybe. So sure is my wholehearted response to the pick. I don't really see the full utility for it, but if it's a comfort pick, and like you said, it's slightly better in these lower MMR games where there's not as much pressure on the mid lane, it is one of those heroes that can take over the game, just start 3-shotting people.
It's also nice to always have with the Lich. I think Lich is a good backup support for something like an OD, being able to get off the Sinister Gazes after the bubbles and just providing a degree of tank the hero normally lacks in team fights. If you are going to pick one up, this is a good roster to be facing into, and you have good supporting tools with the Tusk and the Lich, so I don't hate it necessarily. What about this Timbersaw pick? Do we think this is being picked specifically because of the Underlord Pudge, the double strength cores?
Yeah, I mean triple strength calls, right?
Potentially.
Potentially. But nonetheless, yeah, I mean, setting up for a pretty good Timber game so far. The pit can sometimes be an issue. Anti-mage can be an issue for Timber, but again, in this division, and if the anti-mage manages the creeps badly, or the support's not there to back him up, the Timber can probably play the lane fine as well. I think a lot of the anti-mage lane matchups depend a lot on anti-mage managing how many attacks he can get off on the offlaner, managing the mana that they're allowed to have when they're contesting creeps. So we'll have to see how that works as a matchup in this game. But in
It's worth
theory,
noting as well, the pilot is a 2.1k player on the anti-mage as well.
okay.
Facing off into Dragon, who, we've seen Dragon in previous series. Thankfully, his fucking cursed Largo that bet me over and over again last season is not in the pool. But I'll be interested to see what he picks up here. It looks like that's, he's most likely going to be sitting on that Timber pick. And at least that's, AM can beat that in lane, if, as you said, if it gets off enough right clicks, but it's still pure damage coming out from that Whirling Death if he's next to a tree. So it's not as safe a matchup as you might think.
I mean, I think the supports on the side of 5 stuns are also looking a lot more scary for the lanes. If there are, I mean, the Shadow Fiend and Drow, which we see first banned, first phase in basically all of the, or even picked early in these Sweat Division games, the Div 1 games, have been completely ignored. I wouldn't mind for 5 stuns to pick up here Drow, Shadow Fiend, either of those as their carry.
Either of those works pretty damn well into what we've seen so far. I mean, I'm thinking particularly I really like the Drow here, having that silence with pre-Manta for the Anti-Mage, or at least forcing the Anti-Mage to use his Manta defensively every fight is really nice. The Pudge is there to jump onto it, though, but it definitely wins the lane into the Underlord, which not many Pos ones can say that they do.
Yeah. The Chumps instead banning out melee heroes, which I don't know if... I suppose they've got the OD already, so potentially they're looking for another frontliner. But the Lifestealer, again, into all these strength heroes that they're showing. Decent matchup into Anti-Mage. I think it's like kind of even, depending on what items they've got. Similar story with the Faceless Void. Is one of the better laners into Underlord, and also decent matchup into Anti-Mage. So I don't mind the bans, but I think 5 stuns can look towards the Drow potentially here.
One of the melee cores they don't ban, though, which I'm quite surprised at, is they actually don't ban the Ursa. And if you're kind of, basing your offlane around this Underlord snap combo, I feel like Ursa is a hero that can really fuck that up.
Yeah, there's Ursa, there's also Juggernaut, I think, is in the similar vein of heroes there. Both could be considered. I think you just pick at this point of what you prefer. What's in the hero pool, really, at this point. You don't feel too trapped into what you're picking, I think.
The final pick for the Chumps people is a weird one, because I assume this is a 4 line, but it's really hard to tell out of the snap Pudget line who is the core. People do play line mid these days.
With Anti-Mage, and then snap Underlord off lane with the mid Pudge. I think that's what I'm seeing in my head.
Would feel the most sensible, but we know not to bring sense into Irish Dota 2 Division 2, Anti. Anything can happen. I got to do a quick shout out as well to the Chumps people. Put in we can't see it really on stream, unfortunately, but their flag for this game is a photo of me. Thank you to Heinz' favorite bean flicker, who I imagine was behind such an endeavor, or Mr. Gesture to the James. Not sure. Surely one of them. 5 Stuns No Brain taking the time with this last pick. Most likely, as we said, going to be that pause one. The Ursa is available. The Drow Ranger is available. The Shadow Fiend is available. And it's worth noting their pause one, Hammurabi, is one of the highest MR players in this whole series. So what he picks is going to have quite a large impact, most likely.
We'll see what it is. It is the Ursa, like you suggested. Obviously, Run and Tell is the draft genius. Always gets the prediction right.
Except for when it's my own team, baby. I really like the 5 Stuns No Brains lineup, despite the OD.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is looking pretty hard for the Chumps.
Auntie?
Yeah.
So, Local Man is the mid laner for the Chumps people.
Local Heinz, yeah.
Yes.
Is playing the Anti-Mage.
Could we be seeing an AM mid?
Who's the carry? I assume it's
It's Shinny normally.
I mean, Anti-Mage into OD does not sound fun.
No, I mean, if they do pull this out, it's kind of hype.
I think they might just be swapping the roles around. But like you said, I'm happy to be surprised here, Run and Tell.
It would make more sense. The mid snap is sort of in vogue at the moment. It's definitely more common than a mid anti-mage, but I mean, it's playoffs. They know there's a big MMR differential between these two teams. Maybe you go Chaos Dota and you hope it works. Guess we'll have to see in the game. I assume you are also preferencing the 5 Stuns draft in this instance.
Yes, I think so.
Gonna have to wait and see, folks. Reminder, this is a best of 3 series, so settle down for the evening. We know you're not doing anything else on Friday night. If you were, you wouldn't be here. Either are we, if that helps. We live equally unexciting lives. So we're kind of trauma bonded in that way. So you got to stay around for the entire series. No matter what you're doing tomorrow, stay up late, have a few beers, enjoy some good Irish Dota. This is an elimination match. The team who loses this game is out, and the winner of this game will go on to face off against. Let me have a quick look-see. Taylor's website is not working for me for a moment. Playoffs. Winner of this game will face off into the winner of against Foss team, which is a really tough game in the next round.
Yeah, 2 heavy hitters of their individual brackets, I think. But that's how it's going to go further down this bracket. You know, we're culling the weak in this first stage of the bracket with these elimination games.
Have we considered killing the poor, Auntie? You know, it's that classic question that comes up every now and then. Looks like a level 1 fight is about to break out as all of the side of the 5 stuns are walking into the people's chumps. Jesse James, the first one caught, but in a nice position, but none of his team comes to save him. Nice triple stun there coming off the line, as well as the big firestorm, but Jesse James hammered down with the damage coming out from this Timber Saw. The rest of his team forced to turn tail and run as the side of 5 stuns pick up the first kill.
The battle begins.
Almost going to look for a hook.
And indeed he lands it. It's onto Hammurabi, the 3rd king of Mesopotamia, but he manages to make his way out of that one.
I would have liked to try and see a rescue hook onto Jesse there, poor old Jesse, as he was imprisoned. But for now, first blood for the Dire side.
It does look like they're going to put Shinny mid, so they aren't doing the hype AM mid, I'm afraid to say, Mr. Anti. They are just going to do a world swap where they are moving Mr. Local Man, Heinz' favorite bean flicker from the chat, down onto that pause 1 anti-mage. I do actually like this this lineup. Sorry, I gotta call out for a second. Dragon's sponsor tag, quite funny in reference to our favorite Scottish farmer.
Yeah, shoutouts to Click.
Yeah. I'm sure he's very much enjoying all the farm work in this warm weather right now. I'm sure it's very pleasant to I don't know what he does, milk cattle in 40-degree heat.
Hell yeah.
Meanwhile, this top lane looks like Red Rabbit took a lot of damage off that level 1 go, so it feels like this is very much the skill-based lane out of all 3 lanes. Like, either side can certainly win this. I definitely preference the Ursa Lich. I think that once you get a couple levels in the ice armor, it's just a very hard combo, but hooks can always be thrown, Anti. And Red Rabbit needs to be careful here.
You gotta not get hooked, and I think the initial go, like you said earlier, was Red Rabbit getting hooked. Gets away with that one there.
Tries to get lands onto the Ursa there. Doesn't quite connect, unfortunately, that time, so just going to be much of a muchness in this bottom lane. Quick pull out coming from this Tusk. Nomi not really in a position to threaten this, so decent old start for Mr. Dragon. Taking a look now at these last hits. AM also off to quite a strong start on Local Heinz.
I mean, drawing-ish with the Timbersaw, right? It's 7 apiece so far.
Indeed. Nice use there of the OD stun to get the deny in his own range creep to kill off the opposing range creep. Classic OD shenanigans. Clearly, Cal Drama experienced on this hero.
Pulling ahead, but it's a snap fire. We've seen this hero take over games before. You just get the travels, you just get one more item, maybe a blink, who knows. And as long as you get the shard, you're just going to be blowing heroes up.
It's worth noting as well, he's doing quite well considering like the fact that the Cal Drama, I suppose both of them are low enough. I'm more having him go here onto the Lion. Does end up getting out there. My apologies, Ronantel was looking at his stats screen. Should never do that. Ends up being a little bit of a folly there for me. Going the top lane, they're onto Hammurabi. He's in some trouble here. Shinko running him down. They get the secondary route there. And the last right click from Jesse James. That's a big kill in this top lane.
Yeah, that's unfortunate bot lane. AM has to blink out.
Indeed, attempts, you said, the shards. They do connect Muko with some fabulous shards onto Heinz, and he's now in huge trouble with the damage from that tag team. That's enough to kill off the AM. The Lion not there to protect his anti-mage, and it's a quick kill. Yeah, time to go now onto Shinkobo. Could be in trouble. There's the big stun coming out from that big old Centaur Conqueror, but Jesse James gets the kill on Red Rabbit before he goes down himself. Hammurabi makes back the gold he just lost. You know what the Hammurabi code is? An eye for an eye, Auntie, and that's what he's just done.
Is that what it is? I mean,
Indeed
an
it
eye
is.
for an eye with the aid of a random guy standing in the jungle that can AoE stun.
There you go. The agents in the jungle doing everything they can to make sure that fight goes their way. Bottom lane, Heinz looks like he's going to try position a little bit more aggressively. Still doing very well in the last hits compared to this Timbersaw, it's worth noting.
Yeah, slightly surprising, but I think maybe Nomi just able to sap away some of this mana on the Tusk, like shore up some of the aggression that they're able to put out. But you can see that if they force out the AM Blink and the wave is in this position, they can chase him down.
I have to say it was a really nice shards coming out there from Muko. You know, I played against this guy for a couple of seasons. Very good player. And normally on his extremely annoying fucking Skywrath mage. Glad we're not seeing that this game. Meanwhile, mid lane, starting to trend a lot more towards this OD.
Yeah, I think maybe as expected, but Snap does have the catch-up mechanic later into the game.
Yeah, Snap is one of these heroes that's very reliant on its mana, so when OD is just able to continuously cut the amount of mana that it has, I mean, it's almost using its whole pool at that point to get off his Q and his W, so very difficult. Nice hook there from Shinkobo, follow up from Jesse James as well with this root. That's going to be another dead Ursa, and down he goes. Jesse James getting the credit for that kill. Another kill onto this Ursa in this early game. Things looking much better for the people's Chumps than I thought they would.
Yeah, I mean, this lane always was a bit of a toss-up bot lane.
Yeah, attempt to go onto Mr. Bean Flicker there, but luckily the tag team has not enough to come off. Alexa now will go down. Another one, Shukobo absolutely putting in the work this game.
I would kind of like to see them place an Obs Ward because they're getting hooked basically off cooldown at this point. It is really ruining the lane. Bot lane,
yeah,
dive under the tower.
And they do get the kill onto Nomi there. Some very valuable experience going the way of Dragon on this Timbersaw. I think that he is going to start becoming a problem if he starts doing a little better. Nice use there of the stun coming out from Shinny. Immediately put in that bubble though. So for all his fancy plays, he loses just as much as the OD in the end there. Is that Ward and Vision? Just about not. Shinkobo tries to make go into Red Rabbit. Doesn't quite connect. Has the hook ready though, but decides to just hook up that catapult to not allow them to pressure into his team.
In fact, so maybe they're looking to push the Ursa out from under the tower with the catapult wave here. If that is their plan, I'd like to see the Lion like gate through. You can at this point, like with this catapult wave, do that kind of pressure, but it seems like they're just going to stick to their guns here.
Now the Obs was just in range, means they are going to lose on this top lane. Heinz forward pressuring onto Dragon, seeing what he can do, but the Tusk, it looks like, is actually going to be the one going through the portal as he walks towards it now. Hammurabi in some trouble, gets off some clicks onto Shinkobo. The stun comes out for the Lich, but the stun's onto a creep. Red Rabbit with the misclick there, very unfortunate, means we get another kill. Tusk comes to the portal, but it's too little, too late. This offlane becoming a serious problem for the size of 5 stuns, no brain.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, feeding away too many kills here. The Ursa, we spoke about how it's pretty good into all of these heroes. One of the heroes that we think could possibly lane up into these double melee here, but are just not strong enough to tank the Firestorm damage.
Yeah, it's got to be said, they're real unfortunate there from Red Rabbit. The stun onto the jungle creep just meant that he just had no chance. Going to Jesse James here. Nice use of the shards, but a really good Pit of Mali saves him at least temporarily. But there's the Hypnotize coming out this time from the Lich. Jesse pops off the use of that Lotus and stays alive with a good stun from Nomi. The hook is there from Shinko, but it doesn't connect this time. He's trying to run down Muko, but Muko has the boots, so Pudge unable to keep up with him. And it ends up being a zero-sum game at the end of that one, Auntie.
Yeah, 0-for-0 trade. You'll love to see it. I'm sure they will find a hook here soon. It is off cooldown. Hammurabi's staying a little long.
He managed to bisect the angle and perfectly not get a hook, but in actuality, the Hex stun is enough, and that's another death into Hammurabi. Really suffering now, and Red Rabbit looks like he's also in some trouble. He's getting ran down by the Pudge. Pudge, just one more right click, so he's going to need to finish him off. Not even, as down he goes. Muko could be in some trouble here as well. Hook in 1 second, and I think he will connect Shinkobo with another kill. 7 stacks of flesh heap at 7 minutes.
Can Kaldrama clean up here?
He can definitely kill his Pudge, that's for sure. Question is, can they do anything afterwards? Stun comes out from Jesse James, but his little support is already dead, and now he's the one who might be in some trouble as we don't have an ultimate up. The Sandy's Clips is not available, but I don't know if it's going to matter here. Nomi needs to get off this stun. He's get off now, but he's too late with that stun, which means that he just ends up being food for Red Rabbit. It's going to be another kill going to Kaldrama in just a second. And indeed, they leave it actually for Hammurabi, so a lot of good lane movements, somewhat nullified there with a 3-for-0 fight in that top lane.
This OD just turns up, gets a few clicks in, doesn't even have the maxed orb, but all these heroes in the top lane were just low enough where it did feel like a cleanup operation.
And clean up he did, and he's doing very well now on this Odo. If we shift our attention over towards these net worth, 4,700 already, by far the richest player in the game.
Yeah, Shikobo though,
Are they going again?
Here.
Yeah, they're not done yet. He doesn't have ult yet, so I think he is just extremely dead here. And down he goes, Jesse James with another kill onto the suffering Ursa. But that being said, he is still on similar net worth to the AM, because the AM has been forced into this jungle so early.
I mean, both carries having a very sad game here. Local Heinz, although with the supports being dragged to top to try and help Ursa and failing, this is I suppose a poor allocation of resources for the Dire side, where Anti-Mage is now a little bit less pressured, can get clearing up some of these lane creeps in front of the Timbersaw.
And if he gets his Battle Fury online, obviously we know this hero can pick up quite considerably. I think the later we go into this game, I do start favoring the side with people's champs quite heavily, even though they have things like the Timber for the late, like the OD, like the Ursa. I still think they're actually better placed. And stun attempt here, out onto Caldrama, doesn't quite connect. Here comes the portal from Jesse James on the right side of this fight. He's coming in, Pit of Malice is ready. The ult is here from the Snapfire. That should be enough. They do miss the hook, and a lot of the damage from the Snapfire is nullified by the use of the bubble, but Shinny is able to pick up that kill on Caldrama. Really good rotation so far for the people's champs. Just feels like they're doing a lot more with this map.
Yeah, and they were waiting in the top lane for Jesse James to come back through the portal, but he's not interested.
Indeed, he is not. He's just going to take the long, slow little walk back, reminisce on the kills that he just got, and get ready for this next fight, as the pressure is continuing to be placed on this top lane. They want to get Hammurabi back into this game.
Yeah, and luckily he won't try and hit the wave in front of the tower here while Shikobo's lurking in the trees.
He's still waiting there. Could get off these hits at any moment. It's worth noting quite a large MMR differential between these teams. Hang on, go now onto the Timbersaw. Dragon wants to try to go into Local, but now Local's doing a fair bit of damage. But they come in with the rotation from the supports. Really nice play there from the line. But Jesse James is here with the Firestorm. Can they finish off Dragon? It doesn't feel like it, especially because Caldrama is now here with this Outward Devourers. They are just going to walk away from this one. 50 seconds until the cookie is back up. But they're going straight away, sorry, until the ult is back up. They're going straight away onto the OD. The OD does pop that big stick to get back all the HP is lost, and now they're going to dive in onto Shinny. Shinny could be in some trouble here. Good use, though, of the Firestorm. That Dragon goes down first, and Muku's down there afterwards. The gang becoming a little bit disastrous as Jesse James has so many stacks that Atrophy Aura. This is a huge amount of damage, and Nomi is here now as well. If he gets this kill, this is ginormous. So Jesse gets the ult turned on him, as well as the use there of that shield from the OD. It is enough to keep him alive. And if anyone's happy from this one, it's Caldrama and Red Rabbit. He's sliding in. He wants to try and get him. He has the ice armor up in just a second or two. And the stun, but a nice stun there coming up from the line. Can he turn this one around, stand on that high ground? Doesn't seem like Red Rabbit is willing to go any further, Entity.
I mean, again, this OD is doing so much work. It just rolls up, lays out the damage. Didn't even have the orb attack toggled on at the start, just even though it's level 4, threw out a regular attack, which is maybe slightly unexpected, but locked in for the rest of that fight at least.
Always expect the unexpected, Anti. He's playing on levels that we simply couldn't understand as non-OD players. He's played this hero a fair few times this league, so it's not particularly surprising to see it on it, and he is looking very strong right now. 6-1. The only really positive player coming out of this laning stage from 5 stuns, which, to be honest, looking at Mars, you weren't expecting. Go now onto the Lich. He is extremely dead as the finger comes out from Nomi. Attempt to jump in from Dragon, but he jumps onto the Pit of Malice. Still should be able to dive under this tower, but Jesse James is there, and he's going to start pressuring Dragon after this one. Nomi doing a really good job of staying alive there, and indeed he does. There's the cookie coming out from Shinny to follow up with the Scatter Blast. It's going to be Dragon who goes down, but Dragon does tick away that line with the last little hit there. Here comes the Pudge. He's ready with his hook. Is he going to snipe the kill? He's going to choose not to. Allows that snowball to get off. So a bit of time save here from Muko perhaps, but I believe he should still be going down here to that Scatter Blast coming out from Shinny.
It was for a moment there, it was 12-12 at 12-12. It's no
Whoa.
longer that. It's now a bit different to that score, but it's a bloodbath run and tell at the moment. 2 kills a minute.
It's looking like an interesting game indeed. Hex comes out here onto Hammurabi. He's forced to walk away from Nomi. Gotta say, it's been a very impressive performance from Nomi so far this game.
I mean, the supports on both sides have been hitting spells back and forth. I think the rotation, the TP row saves from Nomi have been impressive. But I mean, really the onus of setting the tempo here, I think, is on the Dire supports. You can see how much the map started changing when they came bot instead of sitting on the Ursa top. Forcing Jesse to come to them maybe is slightly better.
Most certainly, and AM in the meantime is slowly farming up towards that Battle Fury. He's been kind of left alone during all these fights, so 0-1-0, the classic AM score. When he gets this Battle Fury online, if they can start kind of designating some support time at least to getting some stacks up, he could really start taking over this game. He has what they need to kill off this OD.
Yep, I think even with a couple of items, he's good against the Timbersaw as well. Ursa, I'm not too convinced, so they might have to keep this Ursa down if they want this anti-mage timing to be significant.
Mass rotation towards this top lane with Dragon and the two supports moving in to try and put pressure onto the Jesert of the James, but he has cleared his camp already. They put down the double scans. They think this rotation is into the bottom lanes. They're holding their AM back. They haven't quite sussed yet that they are all here, trying to pressure in, I'd say, towards that Wisdom, but Lion should get there first.
Yep. Red Rabbit.
Nice easy take there. Yeah,
it
could be in some trouble here.
If he was on time, to be honest. It's lucky that he's late.
Indeed. Dragon drops a boop. He puts a little chakram on Jesse's nose that walks away. So good to see some little banter between the teams right now. The Ursa is going brown boots into straight Battle Fury, which means he now has it finished. Go now being made onto this Lich, being hit up as well with that big ol' Atos from Shinny. Follow-up stone as well. Really nice cookie from Shinny, but it doesn't feel like they have the damage to get off K-Drama, especially as Dragon is coming in here. But Shinobu is here on the Pudge. He has the Dismember. In fact, he's level 9 on this Pudge right now. The same level as Dragon, and as such, they're just able to wail into Dragon and take him down. They do finish off the Snapfire, but afterwards he just got the cookie as his dying lament, which means they might be able to run down this OD here with a good stun from Nomi, and they do get that good stun with the follow-up Hex as well. Attempts to use the snowball to save down Muko, but it's not enough, and now it's going to be Muko goes into some trouble. Pops down the shards to save himself at least temporarily. Jesse James has a Pit of Malice ready, but Red Rabbit is there with that big ol' armor in time to get Muko out of that one. Still, a really good fight for the Chumps people, who are looking very strong in this game one.
Yeah, Chicago trying to find a snipe behind the tower there. 1,500 gold backed in the favor of the Chumps, but they're still not in the net worth lead here. Hammurabi still in the stunned animation, the flail animation here, farming his way up, has his Battle Fury completed. Antimages has just flown out on his courier.
This is going to be very big in terms of getting this net worth advantage back. They need some money onto Mr. Beatenflicker. He needs to be able to come back into this game after what was a difficult enough lane for him. He has the treads now. Hang on, jump in from Muko, shows off that new Blink Dagger. They also bring in Dragon here with that big old Timber Chain, and now it's Nomi who looks pretty dead, but the question is, do they get Jesse afterwards? The hook comes out, it's from the Pudge. He's somewhat like making them a little bit distracted here, which might save Jesse's life as he goes to the TP, and it does, and they do have the follow-up with the Mortimer's Kisses coming out from the Snapfire, and ends up being what looked like a disastrous fight for the Chumps people, turns into a 2-for-2.
Yep, just the supports traded off. You know, the cores wipe their hands, they're like, back to farming, I guess, nothing of value lost.
Indeed, but the one person who was farming all throughout that was this AM. He's now actually very close to catching up with the Ursa all of a sudden.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the difference between their farm speed at this point is that Anti-Mage has a blink to get between camps, whereas Ursa's got a walk. He does have phase wind lace, so he's minimizing his time. But, I mean, that's just innately how Anti-Mage is going to look to take over on the net worth lead.
I'm really interested to see how he does this game, especially because, you know, we're not used to seeing him in this one position. It is new this league for him to be playing it. He's had a difficult enough game so far, but as we always say, when an AM starts getting items, fights start getting hard. They do have a naturally decent carry matchup, though, with the Ursa, right?
Yeah, I mean, the Ursa's pretty good into anti-mage, at least fighting the 1v1. Ursa's usually good against most carries in the 1v1, really. And you can see the benefit here of Hammurabi farming these camps aggressively on the enemy side of the map. Anti-mage wanders over, and he just wastes a lot of time looking at empty camps here. Dragron
Time to go out here. Yeah, gonna be caught up with that Atos coming from Jesse James. Follow up with the hook as well. Shinkobo is level 11 on this pudge, almost level 12, with 15 stacks of flesh heap at 18 minutes.
Yeah, and a blade mail to boot. Well, let's just check the scoreboard real quick. 5, 3, and 12. I mean, as a pretty fat support pudge, to be honest.
It's got to be said, he's played a really impressive game so far, especially when you consider the fact that I believe he might be with the exception of Red Rabbit, the lowest MMR player in the game, and he's just having an absolute storm of a start to this game.
Yeah, I mean, in the laning stage, you know, it might have been an enemy team ward issue, but I mean, he's been hitting the hooks where it counts, especially on these chases, grabbing heroes on their way away.
Another hook is landed, and we see the side of the People's Champs writing GOAT in giant letters on the minimap there, Auntie.
Oh, I missed that, but yeah, I mean, I think spirits will be high off of this performance. We'll see if they can turn it into a win, though. It's still pretty even on net worth.
Indeed it is, but they're starting to come back here slowly but surely. The OD is still very, very large, and he is going to be building in towards that 4 staff next, which is going to make him quite difficult to kill. You know, so far it's been very much based upon Jesse getting off the Pits of Malice and these Rod of Atoses. When he has that Force online, that becomes a little bit more difficult, and Hammurabi as well now has the Blink Dagger finished up on the Ursa.
Yeah, might look to get involved, and obviously with an Ursa lineup, you know, Roshan is always on the table, it's something they can think about, so they've got more objectives open to them at the moment. I'd like to see the teams look for a Tormentor, but they're going to look
Go
at
on to Kobo. Pops off the Blade Mail to dissuade this OD at least temporarily. Indeed, so many spells missed that none of them are missed, but Shikobo is still going to go down at the end of this one. A nice free kill there for Cow Drama. Hammurabi trying to make it go onto local Hines. He is forced to blink away here. Just constant pressure alongside farming coming out from this Ursa. In the top lane, going to Jesse James, gets cookied up, hits in onto the Lich with that big old finger. They're going to kill the Lich quite quickly, and now he needs to be very careful here on Dragon. He takes so much damage from these kisses, but Hammurabi is here with the Blink Dagger to make sure that is not going to be effective. The ghost comes out from the line, but it's not going to be enough. Nomi going down, Shinny going to follow him into the grave. The Ursa joins, and it's a 3-for-0.
I mean, you can see the damage coming out from the Ursa, damage coming out from the OD, the Timber also. All of these cores are great against these strength heroes that they've got for the Chumps.
Unfortunate timing as well, as that 21-minute Wisdom Rune is about to spawn, and it looks like Timbersaw is just going to be able to steal that one away there from them. Jesse comes to see it, but all he sees is the fallen monument as Timber walks away with that Shrine of Wisdom.
Yeah, Anti-Mage is walking away with the enemy Ancient Camps, but I'm not sure they're too bothered about it at this point. They're still playing for this top side of the map.
Hammurabi jumps in on Jesse James. Muko also with that Blink Dagger. Nice stun coming out from the line to try at least stop him temporarily, but it feels like Jesse James will be going down here eventually. He does walk them back into the pit, and he is staying alive for quite some time, but he'll need to stay alive a lot longer than that if he's going to win that fight.
Jesse is doing a lot of damage here, and he's tanking a lot of damage, but I don't think it's going to improve across the game as it goes on.
In the meantime, Hines is able to get off a kill onto the Lich, and that kill is worth 450 gold for some reason.
That's pretty surprising. The Lich is the lowest net worth hero. I can't imagine why that's... Yeah, I mean, sure. Anti-Mage diff, I guess, just makes gold out of thin air.
You're the Matzy one of the two of us. I'm only good at waxing lyrical. I do not understand numbers whatsoever. Smoke comes out now. On this side of the Peoples, they're walking in towards this bottom lane. There is an Ursa and an OD ready to go in the back lines if they're not careful, but Dragon's stepping up quite far here. Shinny shows himself, but shows himself in a rather conspicuous manner, which now alerts them to the smoke, which forces them to bring down both the Ursa and the OD. They don't have Jesse, and they don't have the AM. So if they're caught here, they're in true play.
Looking for the Tormentor. I thought they would go on the Timber in the wave because the line has the Blink Dagger finished up and they have to snap kisses to follow. But I just a bit too scared.
Indeed they are, and the Shard is going to come out. Shard is going to be onto the Lich. That is the Ice Spice, one of the best shards in the game. So useful for Lich. Gives you the ability to roam solo or with a single core and guarantee a bunch of kills. It's a great shard if you know how to use it. It's pretty useless if you're only using it in teamfights.
Can you cast your Lich Ult on the shard itself?
Yes,
Well,
you can.
answer that after this team fight.
Jump in onto the Lich. The Lich dies at the start of the fight. Jesse James comes in with a portal as well, which means the Dragon's probably the second one down at the start of this one. Huge damage coming from Caldrama there with the ult, though, but Shinkobo is sitting on top of him. Doesn't feel like you're going to win this 1v1 Pudge, I'm going to be honest, and he goes down as well. So far, 2 for 1 of the not done yet. Hines is here, though. He wants to come in for this fight. He's skirting the edges, and he jumps in immediately onto this OD. It's going to be a big mana void, indeed it is. Muko with the save there coming out from this Snapfire. Keeps him alive at least temporarily, but not going to last that long. Secondary bubble comes out. Heinz Speedstar is chopped down by the Ursa, and he gets a secondary bash on him as well. Really unlucky there from the Anti-Mage, and huge plays coming out from Hammurabi, that recently minted Skull Basher, making all the difference. Check him, BC comes out from Dragon as the 2 perfectly timed bashes keeps them in that fight and wins them. And now they take a 5k net worth lead.
Incredibly impressive play there from the Tusk. Just keeps the OD alive long enough for him to astral himself. His Blink Dagger cooldown comes back, and he can get himself out of that potentially tricky situation with the Anti-Mage. It's just a bonus, really, that Hammurabi is able to get the kill onto the Anti-Mage off the back of that. But the aggression's relentless, run until they're straight into it.
Yeah, Shinkobia is here, and it looks like they have the follow-up damage as well for this Ursa. Jesse throws a little root out to him and says, I'll be back to you soon. And they snipe down this Ursa. Hammurabi dies so quickly to all that magic damage, and 2 very quick kills, 2 very important kills, especially that kill on Hammurabi.
54 kills in 24 minutes, run until.
You know, that warm air outside, the hot weather, it makes people, you know, warm-blooded, ready for some violence, Anti, perhaps.
And they've certainly got the heroes for it. All of these heroes got crazy damage in this game, so I'm sure we'll continue to see team fights play out as heroes evaporate in front of each other.
Jesse James going into that Aghanim Scepter now on this Underlord. When he has that big root, it's going to be really, really helpful for these team fights. He also has finished himself up a Ghost Scepter into this OD to try and keep himself alive, and into the Ursa. Ghost Scepter feels pretty damn value this game, actually.
Yeah, I don't hate it here. It's and I think it doesn't amp the timber damage either, because the timber damage is pure, as my understanding. So, I mean, let's read it. Vulnerable to magic damage, so yeah, that's my understanding of how that works. So premium Ghost Scepter game potentially can build it into an E-Blade as well if he likes, if he wants to bother saving one of his supports.
Seems like it. They're going to group up in this triangle to try and just secure some farm for Caldrama. But the side of the Chumps people, they're farming the map a little bit more aggressively. Out comes the smoke. Jesse James and the Lion in the most precarious positions here. Nomi trying to break that smoke, walk towards these heroes. Perhaps just going on a warding mission, but it feels like he's completely dodged out that gag, and he throws down the obs ward onto a camp. The true hatred move, but Jesse is the one who's going to be in some trouble here. Going to finish off this camp. The smoke pops onto Nomi. Nomi actually gets away with it. Really nice one, but the follow-up is onto Shinkobi, and he takes a lot of damage there on this Pudge. They throw out the Lich Ult with the Ice Fire as well into Jesse James. They hypnotize to make it bounce some more. Really good plays there from Red Rabbit, actually. And the follow-up is here as well from this OD. It's a triple kill for Hammurabi. Things start to turn quite difficult for the Chumps people.
I like the positive tips that I'm seeing come out. You know, they tip Red Rabbit for finding that kill on the Underlord at the end. They're straight into the Roche pits. I think the vibes are up here.
Indeed, and the vibes are up and the Aegis is down. It's going to go into the hands of the Ursa, who's going to have it for this next fight. He was difficult to kill already on Hammurabi. It's going to be a lot harder to kill from now on. But we've seen the Snapfire does have the burst.
Maybe strong words for how we saw him die last time, but
that's true.
Certainly with an Aegis in tow, it is a lot more complicated. You've only got a certain amount of spells to throw at him, and once they're expired, maybe he can just pop ult and walk away.
Jump in onto Mr. Shinkobi here.
Aggressive.
He does pop off that use of the Blade Mail to at least temporarily stop them. Red Rabbit could be in some trouble here, hit up with the stun from Jesse, but Hammurabi with that newly minted BKB, but it's wasted because it's into the Pudge, who has the Dismember. They do finish off Shinkobi. They trade Red Rabbit for him. It's a 1-for-1 so far, but Hines hasn't taken any damage so far this fight, so he's going to start clicking in onto Mr. Dragon. They try to do the Snowball Slave, but it doesn't work this time, and now the Pit of Malice is going to come out to make it an easy kill onto Muko. That is a 3-for-1, and all of a sudden the Aegis push is heavily nullified, Mr. Anti.
Yeah, it was just a bit tricky for Ursa and OD to get involved under the tower there. Obviously, AM, again, waiting in these fights, looking for an opportunity to jump in and blow a hero up. This time, successfully so.
And it's a big difference maker. That kill is a good bit of gold into the back pocket of Heinz, who desperately needed it. And he also got the kill onto Muko. So that's a fresh 700 gold going into his back pocket. And he's building in towards the butterfly next, Santi.
On the anti-mage, yeah, I mean, the evasion, good versus us, so he doesn't really like building an MKB. But maybe if he feels like he needs to, he will.
Trouble here for Shinny as he gets the insta-bash again. Hammurabi, check this guy PC, Anti.
I mean, you know, he gets off so many attacks, he's gonna get a bash at least once and overpower, right? It's part of the script.
Indeed it is. Not that this game is scripted in any way, we promise.
No,
Hammurabi trying to break these waves.
That. Sorry, Tyler, for leaking.
Here comes a big use of the Pitamalas. It's a lot of damage onto this Ursa with the finger. That's enough to kill him. He actually blinks on top of it, unfortunately. They try to do the snowball save, but it's not enough. The Force Staff is there from the line to keep himself alive as well. So, quick, easy reclaim. Early BKB comes out from the OD, which could be problematic. They probably give up this tower, but that fight went as best as it possibly could without your mid laner. But Jesse's not done yet. He wants to go into Muko. They have the hook follow-up with the stun as well. They drag him back and stun him. But now they've used all their resources, which allows Hammurabi to come into this fight. And he actually doesn't even finish him off there. The Chain Frost is here coming out from Red Rabbit. But so are the Kisses. Can the Kisses do enough to save this fight? No, because the Ursa is straight away on top of him with the BKB. Forced to jump away with the cookie there from the Snapfire. The Blink comes out as well. So now Hammurabi in a difficult position, but Jesse James in a much more difficult position as Kelly Drama comes in on this big ol' OD and chops him down, but he's out of mana on the OD. He needs to be careful here. One big mana void could wipe his team if he's not careful. There it is, and it pops down 2 heroes straight away, and Hammurabi is forced to walk away from this one. Big kills there for Hides. The ouch comes out. They do TP away at the end there on the Ursa, but all things said, no buybacks used, and a 1k exchange in favor of the Chumps people.
What a pretty mana void. Almost gets the Ursa as well to boot. I mean, he said this is his first game on carry here, but this AM is looking pretty cool, calm and collected.
Indeed it is, and he's now building in. He's pretty close to his butterfly after that big fight, and when he has that finished, his damage output is very large, and his ability to dodge out those bash hits from the Ursa just really nice to get.
Yeah, I'm wondering if the OD needs to build into a Lincoln's. Or something of this nature, because getting AM ulted on the OD has happened a couple of times in these fights, and the OD is so much of their damage. Like, I think it'd be a big difference maker if the OD had some protection against getting mana voided.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I genuinely think it's quite essential at this point. I mean, we saw that fight at nearly 100-0, 2 heroes. So they need to be really careful about it. With the AM only getting bigger, and soon as well, going to be getting that level 25 talent with the 50-second mana void cooldown timer. You know, that puts it down to a 20-second timer, and that's available, which makes it even more scary. There's a chance you get off 2 mana voids per fight.
That being said, Ronatel, Ursa's got an Abyssal Blade, Odie's building into a Hex. Potentially they're approaching us from the opposite direction. They're saying, we're just going to get one lockdown on the AM, and he's gone. And that can be true with the damage they've got.
Especially when you think about these supports, you know, they don't really have an innate way to try and save. I mean, I suppose Pudge can hook him away, but we've been seeing Shikobo play it a lot more aggressively throughout these fights. So the ability to actually save your core is tough when BKBs are off, right? When all you have is the Lion.
Yeah. They can try a hook save, but it's very difficult.
Another attempt to go into what has become the cursed bottom tower so far this game. For the side of 5 stuns, but they jump in. It's onto Nomi. Nomi is immediately dead, and Jesse James follow up on him. Good jump from Red Rabbit there. And in the meantime, Hammurabi actually kills off Shinny. So it's 3 for 0 across the map, right in front of that tier 3.
Yeah, it looks like they'll go up. Anti-Mage without his team to get the fight started for him. I mean, this Jesse James Unlord just seems crucial, really, for that purpose. Don't think he's going to be coming back to defend here. Look to trade out the tier 2 mid.
They do finish off the BKB on the Pudge in the meantime, so could be a bit of a difference maker in this next fight. And Heinz using this time, recognizing the fact that, you know, Jesse isn't back and doesn't have buyback. He says, let's at least try trade. Yeah, he does push very fast in this AM, and this is even pre-Butterfly. They will take the tier 3, exchange the tier 2 for this tier 3 this time. Doesn't feel like it's possible for them to defend these barracks, but with these other tier 2s up in the mid and the bottom lane, not a whole lot more they can do than get the tier 3 and then back towards a potential wait into Roche. And AM, meanwhile, is clicking the middle barracks.
He's trying, he's hitting the tier 3. He gets decent damage off onto it, actually.
All
That's
things
the trouble when
considered.
you've got AM at this point, you know, he turns into a bit of a rat here. When there isn't that opportunity for him to find a kill in the team fights, he will be pushing out these other side lanes. I guess the upside is they do have the Abyssal finished. They are building into the Hex. They've got a blink punch from the Tusk. Like, they have ways to find him on these side lanes and keep him there until the Ursa can sharpen kill him. So it's not an easy split push scenario for the AM.
Indeed it's not, but he's got his level 25 now, so he's going to have lots of mana voids. Also has the butterfly finished up. I think we're going to see a strong performance from Loco Hines this next fight. I know I'm hyping him up a lot, you know, he always hypes me up when I cast. I don't know if it's ironic or not, probably is, but I'm going to pretend it's not anti. Makes my ego better.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's all positive here. I'm sure the teams are feeling positive.
Indeed, immediate go. Dragon gets off a nice double root there. He's trying to do what he can to try and finish him off. They have Local Hines, but he's taking so much damage from the OD that he's forced out of this fight straight away. He has no more defensive items either. They're chasing him down. He is banished with that orb. He will have a blink there afterwards, and there isn't any other lockdown to get on top of him, but he blinks the wrong way. And he's killed immediately. Disaster fight. They're not done yet. They don't get Jesse on the back of this one, but it's a 3-for-0 so far. Disastrous fight there for the Chumps people. They're not done yet. They catch out Shinkobo on this big old Pudge, who's looking thoroughly unbig as a result of these cores chopping down into the Pudge. So it's a 4-for-0 at the end of that fight, right as Roche respawns.
Yep, I feel like they might just try and go for a high ground push again, since Roche is on the other side of the map. They can retreat back towards it after at least securing this tier 2, seems like.
Yeah, the death timers are still quite low. You know, you will have your snapback soon, who's quite good at clearing those waves. But they should at least get the tier 2, I think, here. I don't think they're in a position to be able to take the tier 3 quite yet, but maybe they'll prove me wrong and keep walking up here. Looks like they're going to.
Oh, they are. They actually are. They're feeling strong. AM dead for 40.
Do pop the glyph here, but there's a full wave coming in.
Firestorm?
It's ready. He's standing a little bit far back. Doesn't want to get the blinks on top of him from that Ursa and from this OD. So down goes initial use. They do get a nice stun coming out here from the line with the big pit. They're doing a lot of damage over time. The Pudge is back, and that's going to be the thing that sends them back. So they do take the tier 3, but don't get any barracks to go alongside it. Mike Karma in the chat. It's game 1 right now. We had a bit of a late start. So we are still game 1 of this best of 3 series.
That pit is huge, and that's just off of this Chasm Stone?
No, I believe it is the Aghanim Scepter is Pit of Malice now on the board.
Oh, yes, you're right. Ags plus Chasm Stone. I mean, that's pretty nasty, that. Control up this Ursa in team fights. Control up the Timber.
Mini Ravage and all these fights making all the difference. Very important into these heroes that are quite vulnerable to a bit of kite. Shikobo very far forward, and there's the Pressure Aghanims from Muko, and that means Shikobo just dies immediately at the start of this fight. I think that was a very aggressive positioning without a smoke there on the Pudge.
Yeah, I suppose he gets the information that he wanted, which is that the enemy team are in the Roche pit. Not much his team can do with that information, but that's what he was attempting to glean there.
I really like this Aghanims pick up this game from Muko. I think especially into the Snapfire, if he can just blink onto whatever direction that those Mortimer's kisses are coming from, get that kick off, kick the Snapfire into all of them, it just feels very, very good. And now they're feeling confident. They're going to move in towards this middle tier 2, and it's going to melt like butter. Down it goes, and they're not done yet. They've got the Aegis and Hammurabi, and they're going to start collapsing onto this tier 3. We're now looking at a 17k net worth lead for the side of the Chumps people. They get out a stun, but it's not quite placed the position Jesse wants it to be. It is holding back these creeps, and there are the kisses as well as the finger from Nomi, but Nomi unable to get off the Hex there, so Dragon able to get away from that one.
Yeah, that's 2 ults down. That's not looking great for them. AM is splitting once again, but Sasa I mean, nice hook.
Yeah, really nice hook there. He does get the BKB off, but it's into the dismember. Muko with another fantastic save, with a follow-up stun from Nomi is so strong. With the Hex as well. Could be some trouble here as Jesse's Firestorm is ticking down Dragon. Dragon forced to walk away from this one. Chocobo definitely going to go down these back lines, but can this little Snapfire finish off Dragon? He can't, but the Hex is there onto the Ursa. They're kiting him really, really well here, and Jesse with that Ags, able to go his pit towards them, but instead they catch out immediately onto the Snapfire. Hammurabi's still alive, still breathing, still happy. Not for long, though, as he will lose his first life here. But now in comes the OD. That was the moment Heinz was waiting for, and he gets chopped down by the anti-mage. So all of a sudden, the fight looking a little bit scarier for the side of 5 stuns. They're being Dragon, but he's on like 2 HP, so he's going to get clicked down almost immediately by this AM. Buyback comes in from Shinkobo. They're doing a lot of damage onto AM in the meantime, though. Shinkobo, though, is here, and he does have that Dismember, but the AM blinked out right before that. Will they have the damage to kill him? They will, because Nomi comes in with the finger on the line from the top side. Red Rabbit also going down, and it's a buyback from the Pudge, but it's a team wipe for the People's Chumps.
I'm gonna be honest, Ron. I feel like it's the OD just diced the anti-mage problem. This just feels like paper. Hasn't got the right defensive items to play against it, or is using the BKB too early, needs to save it for when the anti-mage jumps. But something with the OD needs to change. Like, it can't be dying in 3 hits and a 1-button spell from an anti-mage here in these fights if they want to win.
It's worth noting as well, no buyback right now on this Ursa. And even if the OD buys back, you have that talent on the anti-mage, which means that he has another mana void ready to go. He could just chop you down immediately, and the DD rune spawns very luckily in that top lane, which means he is destroying these barracks so quickly. That's 1 tier 3 down, make that 2 in fast order. And Jesse James coming up with the Atrophy Aura is just going to make that even worse as they tear down another lane. There's still 40 seconds till the Ursa's back, and I think they're about to even up these barracks.
Yeah, they could push their luck here.
Indeed they could. They force the Fortify. 26 seconds till the Ursa is back. 5 seconds till the OD. They decide that's enough, Ted, and they walk away from that one. But all of a sudden, we've definitely got a game in our hands, Auntie. Yeah. Chocobo caught out here. He has the BKB and he TPs.
Okay, Jesse.
Oh, Jesse does come in. Forces the BKB.
So liberal with the BKB. It's really, really detrimental.
Yeah, and he's going to need that to survive those big AM goes. Not going to have it for this next fight now. And I mean, the next fight should take a little bit of time, but with the pressure put out now by these creeps in these top lanes, they're actually ahead on barracks on the side of the Peoples.
I mean, all it takes is 1 win fight, I suppose. Knife edge game, really. It's still only a 4k net worth lead, but the kill score... Again, we're almost reaching kill score, same as Timer Run and Tell. We're looking for it desperately.
I mean, 1 more minute of no kills and we get it, you know? Or if they get 1 more kill on People's Chumps and wait another minute and a half, then we have 43-43 at 43-43.
I'm sure we can get them to call a timeout so we can get the screenshot of that. But for now...
Jump in, it's a nice throwback onto that big guy, and they ruin our dreams, Auntie. Well, wait 2 more minutes.
We can still do 42 minutes, 44 seconds, alright? It's still on. Uh-oh.
Indeed they could. They catch out immediately onto the Tusk. The Tusk is taken down. It's 43-44 now. Nice use there of the Lich ult. It bounces back and forth in Chocobo a lot, but he is able to walk away. And now the Hex is there. It's onto Dragon. They bring in the Anti-Mage. He is ready to fight. There's the hook. It lands onto Red Rabbit. He's going to be going down most likely on this Lich. But a nice use there of the Astral Imprisonment keeps him alive, at least for now. Ethereal popped on the Pudge, so he actually gets away from that fight. And Heinz chops him down very quickly. But he's popped his BKB extremely early on the Anti-Mage. So I think all he's going to get is that Red Rabbit kill.
Yeah, I think on both sides here, the BKB usage is liberal, or whatever the quote is. It needs to be a bit more conservative, I'm afraid.
Okay, confirmed Auntie is now Pierce Morgan, demanding more conservatives in Irish Dota. You know, your people tried that for about 400 years. We didn't fall for it. We still became a socialist republic, which we definitely still are now.
If we keep trying, yeah, that's just how it be. Hammurabi. I mean, maybe this was a good pop of the BKB here, but doesn't have any way out into the Pudge ult.
Indeed he doesn't, and that means they're going to get a free kill on Hammurabi, and that's a really important kill to pick up here.
Yeah, it does have buyback this time though, so maybe not too much of a disaster here. If he was dead for 90 without it, I think it was probably game.
An interesting choice here from the Anti-Mage. He's building into the Hex as his next item, Anti.
Yeah, I like this. It means it eliminates the chance of this OD popping the BKB at the right time, or it allows him to get on top of the Ursa and try and kill him before he gets the ult off or the Abyssal. Yeah, I don't hate it. I think it's good.
Pressure now being placed into the base of the 5 stuns, no brains team. They want to get the buyback on the Ursa and get out of this one, I assume, but I really think without the Ursa, they just can't kill this AM anymore, especially since he has the BKB for this fight. I really don't want to see them try to fight this, but they try to fight it anyway, and it doesn't really work out for them. As they get off the Dismember onto the OD, they now buy back on the Ursa, but is it too late? They've done so much damage already onto the Ursa, and Shinobu is on top of him in the backline doing what they can to end this fight. Hines not fighting this one. He's turning now onto this big little Timber Saw. He does reflect the big mana shield, but now double buybacks from both this OD as well as this Timber Saw. They're going to kill off Muko, I assume, here. The mana suck is nice, as is the stun coming out from the Snapper. They bought back here in this Ursa. If he dies, that might just be game. They get out the Finger, they get out the Hex. He's going to go down. That's a dieback on the Ursa. But in comes this big OD. Can he save this fight? They're doing what they can to kill him, but he just about stays alive there, about 10 HP. Saving their fight, potentially saving the game here, Anti, as we see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 buybacks in that fight.
I mean, what a crazy fight. I can't believe this OD managed to live at the end. The Anti-Mage drops finally to him. Actually very surprising. Thought the Anti-Mage had that, to be honest.
Nomi in some trouble here as he's being chased down here by Muko and Dragon. Might be in big trouble here on the Lion. Nothing he can really do here to stay alive. Does have the shards, so will be a temporary nuisance. He's going to go down. They did use all 5 buybacks and 5 stuns for that last fight.
Let's check in with the buyback status for our heroes. It's just Anti-Mage, Snap, and Lion available currently. And they might
Could be a big difference maker. I think they might, you know, they are maybe not the Snap. Everyone else, I think, definitely needs to use it here, especially that AM. They don't push super quickly without the Ursa, though.
I mean, he doesn't push that hard himself anyway either. I think really you'd want Timbersaw's shard, to be honest, is what you're hoping for here. But they
Elon Musk epic flamethrower. They do, as they're now on Megas, guys. You need to buy back here. They're choosing not to.
I think it's more important to take a team fight with Jesse. You can close this game out once the Megas are up if you win the next fight still. And they are in a good position for it. 50-50 on the kill scores, Run and Tell. Can they not get any kills for 4 minutes?
It certainly feels possible. Mega creeps come out now for the side of 5 stuns. You know, Cow Drama living on just that 10 HP really made all the difference that last fight. If they just got off a tiny bit more damage on him, this game is over.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. They clutched this one up with the skin of their teeth. They've got a couple racks remaining in their base. And they might be up on buildings, but it still feels like this Anti-Mage is controlling the game.
It is really all in the hands of Anti-Mage right now. Mr. Local Hines doing what he can to keep his team in this game, in this elimination match. Anti, I gotta say, no matter what happens at the end of this game, we were expecting a pretty one-sided fight this game. We're certainly not seeing that here.
Yeah, 100%. We're expecting one of our teams who might have 1,000 or so MMR above the other to maybe make a cleaner go here. But it's been an exciting game to watch. Still hangs in the balance.
Indeed it does, and Roshan has respawned, and it's going to be in that bottom pit, so they can claim up that shrine here. They're keeping their waves pushed in. Timbersaw trying to place some pressure in this top lane. Lion killing off the wards. Feels like they can just walk into the pit now, Anti, right?
Yeah, they've just taken over the area. They might have mega creeps on top of them, and they might have a Timbersaw pushing down top lane, but they're still feeling like they own the map.
I'd be interested to see who they put this refresher on. I know this might be a bit of a hot take, but I feel like you almost want the refresher this game, either Jesse or Shinny. I feel like saying or Shikobo. I feel like the dismembers have been such a big difference maker in these fights, and getting a double dismember with the BKB popped, there's just not a lot they can do against it.
I potentially would be thinking refresher shard refreshes items, right? So you get a second BKB for the anti-mage.
Not
then
anymore, right?
I think the refresher shard does, but the orb doesn't. I think
Okay.
that's my understanding. I'm not 100% sure on that. Should we check?
Indeed, we should. Just abilities.
Just abilities. Well, in that case, who cares who it's on, to be honest?
Yeah, mood. They're gonna stick on the Snapfire for the double kisses. He is
sure.
Still a bit away from the machine gun kisses at 25, though.
Yeah, the 8 kisses launched. Yeah, I don't think it's too. At this point, I don't think there's too much impact they can have on the game. It's really, can you help the anti-mage hit the enemies in the fight and stop him from being hit by the OD and Ursa?
Yeah, that is the name of the game here. Hex now finished up for the AM. He puts his boots in his backpack. That's going to be a big one in these fights. If he gets off a really good Hex on either the OD or the Ursa, this game is done. Smoke now coming out from the side of the 5 stuns gang. They're playing into Aegis here on the AM.
Yeah, they do have the Megas though. There's pressure being in the top lane. They see Jesse on the bot wave pushing it out. And even if they lose a fight, if it's far outside their base, and there's enough time for these mega creeps to hit the enemy base, they could, you know, accidentally thrown them, as it were. But it seems like the Chumps are just running it down.
Yeah, a lot of creeps coming into that top side of the base. They are met by opposing mid lane, but they're going to try to take down this barracks here very quickly. They have 2 more barracks to take down if they want to try this one. This should just be a free barracks in the mid lane. They do pop the glyph.
It's a scary one.
Yeah, that's a sussy glyph in my eyes, Mr. Anti. You know, they're already backing out.
Would let that Rux go, I think.
That now means that one bad team fight here is definitely the end for 5 stuns. But as you say, the microbacterial allies, the creeps pushing in through the top and the bottom, forcing Jesse back. He will have the portal into this fight, and he is also now level 25, which means he gets the extra DPS around the Fiend's Gate, which is a really nice one to have.
Yeah, jump in.
Yeah, it's onto the M, and he's hexed up at the start of this fight, but he doesn't take much damage. He's immediately glimmered up, and now he gets off the BKB, and he's on top of this big, outward devourer, and gets chopped down at the start of this fight. Muko dead without buyback. Here comes the bubble. It's onto the OD. Can they catch him afterwards? Good blink out from Caldrama. Keeps them in this game. They buy back with a snap to defend the waves. Now, without a glyph to speak of, they are able to take down the first set of bottom barracks. Can they take down the second one? If they take these down as Megas v Megas, that pressure is all but gone. The AM on Local Hines still has that Aegis to his name if he wants to expend it. And they are going to get the Megas chase. So we have Megas v Megas, 50 minutes, 51, 51, 51, anti, 51, 51, 51, 51, 51, 51.
Hold!
Woo!
Let's go!
They did it. Okay, now you can die, guys. We don't care.
Yep, end the game now. Perfect timing. Antimage still Aegis in tow.
Yeah, Shakobo, no way to speak of though. Indeed they do, and they popped off that weapon. Indeed they are. They're on to Gnome at the start of this fight, but he has the cheese, so he keeps himself alive, and AM still hasn't lost that first life. They're trying to not kill him off. He still has a minute and a half in the Aegis still. They're going to have to eventually. Red Rabbit has jumped onto. They use a pretty useless use there of the Void, but it's only a slow cooldown now with that 25 talent. Good save there temporarily onto the Lich, but the Lich is going to go down, and that's Lich no buyback. And they get the death use of the Chain Frost to kill off the creep. Shakobo also bought back on this Pudge. He has the Dismember ready. If he wants to use it, his BKB also back up in 5 seconds. It's going to be a 3v5 anti. And all of a sudden, the Chumps people are raining in. They jump in, the Hex is out. It's onto the Ursa with a follow-up as well with Jesse James coming in with this big Pit of Malice. Could do some work here, and there's the hook. It's from this Shakobo Pudge. But meanwhile, the backline is being pressured in by Keldrama. So much damage coming out from the OD, but they lose Hammurabi. His buyback is off cooldown, though, which is very big for them. Where is this AM? Now he's here. He's jumping in. He's on top of the OD. The OD puts himself in the prison. Hammurabi now is on top of the AM. The AM's dead. A disaster fight for the Chumps people. Just when it looked like they were going to win this game, the buybacks come off cooldown, and their chances are now looking a lot more bleak as they do not have buybacks on the Pudge right now. They will be a 5v4 at the best. Indeed he did, and he kind of had to, right?
He's got to defend the base.
Yeah. At least now with Megas on both sides, there's no continuous pressure.
I mean, another crazy
What a game,
fight.
Auntie.
Yeah, it's really going back and forth. I mean, buyback's expended. This AM just getting caught going in alone slightly too far from his team to help him, and then he gets caught by a bash from Hammurabi. Seals his fate. The Bash Lord himself here.
Yeah, also doesn't get off the Hex when he jumps in. Obviously, high pressure stakes kind of game.
Maybe
And
the missed Mana Void as well at the start. He accidentally doing it on the Lich instead of the low mana Timbersaw maybe was a difference maker.
Here we go. They're all going to need to buy back. They're going to defend this one. Hammurabi is chopping down these towers. They're all smoked behind him. This is the team fate to decide it all. There is no Pudge, and that is an early clip. But there's a stun coming out from Nomi. Nomi likely to go down for this one, though. He's going to be dead without buyback on the line, and down he goes. Jesse, so many hits of Malith. Where did they end? They jump in, but immediately Hammurabi catches them, and they get the follow-up stun. That's a dead anti-mage. That might just decide the game. The bash is too much. Check this man, PC. Jesse James, the last man left alive, kicked in by Muko, and the People's Chumps have managed to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. But don't worry, the Pudge is back. Here comes the hook. It misses on Hammurabi, and that might be all she wrote. In he comes, uses up that big dismember, at least to get a kill at the end of this game, but the save is ready and there from the OD. They do kill off this big old boy, and K-Drama low as well, but it's not going to be enough, Auntie. We are going to game 2 with game 1 being in the favor of 5 stuns, no brain.
And to think this game was once 80% favored for the Jesse James stack. I mean, it really felt like it was under the AM's control this whole time, but just these dragged on fights with the buybacks when the BKBs are no longer there for anyone. Just the dual cores, the OD and the Ursa working in tandem to take out this AM. And it secures a 5 stuns victory.
Yeah, just that last fight, I want to big up my man who's always nice in the stream, so Local Hines, but in that last fight, just a couple of poor decisions, I think cost his team the game in that instance. And but what could be said about what was an incredible game with some great plays from both teams? I'm really excited to see what we're going to get in this game too. After what we thought would be a quick, 2 and done series, I'm less convinced of that, especially considering we thought they really had the draft advantage on 5 stuns.
Yeah, we'll have to see what we get in game 2. Hopefully something as exciting. No Resident Sleeper game 2. It's just going to be a bloodbath like this one, I'm sure, on Intel.
I really hope so. Folks, stay tuned. We'll be live with that game 2 in just a few minutes. We'll see you then. Ladies and gentlemen, everyone in between, we are live with game 2 of this best of 3 series between the Chumps people and 5 Stuns No Brain. 5 Stuns No Brain picking up the game 1, but in an extremely close match that I think anyone could say could have gone either way. One quick note before we start this game 2, we do have a switch up on the 5 Stuns No Brain lineup. Dragon still standing in for Joe, but Jam Apple You Never Walk Alone is back in the stead of Red Rabbit.
I suppose they're was it Liverpool? Is that the one?
I think so. I don't think everyone else never walks alone. They're big fans. They put in their names. A lot of Liverpool fans in Ireland, because a lot of Irish people have family in Liverpool, and a lot of Irish players used to play for them. So very popular over here.
Yeah, lots of Arsenal fans as well in the IDL specifically. I feel like I've met a few Arsenal fans. You know,
Yeah.
glory hunters, as it were, or whatever you like.
Most certainly. I think the biggest glory hunters, there's a guy called Bambi who only started supporting them when they won the Premiership, and a guy called Avoxa was started last week. Let's have a look at these picks and bans for this first game. First pick for the side of the Chumps people. They're going to ban out the Night Stalker and the Dawnbreaker to Dragon Classics. They leave the Dragon, I think, his scariest hero available, which is the Largo. 5 Stuns No Brain focus on Jesse very heavily with the bans, banning out the Axe, the Phoenix, and the Underlord. And then also banning out the Magnus, which is the favorite of local Hinds. And once again, in most of their drafts, they do pick up the Tusk first, and they take it this game.
I mean, Muka looked very good on it last game. I am completely happy with this. Don't care that there's a vengeful pick. Looked solid as the Tusk. I like it as a support here for 5 stuns. It also sets up nicely for the meta carries, which again have gone unbanned, unpicked. The Drow Shadow Fiend that we tend to expect nowadays to be prioritized. Even choosing to ban out stuff like the Axe, the Night Stalker, which, I mean, maybe they are just planning on picking up other heroes into that don't like that hero, but who knows at this point. The Magnus ban out as well. Is that a specific hero, specific player targeted with that Magnus ban?
It is. It's a ban onto local man, aka local Hinds. Magnus is his second most played hero throughout the whole league. He has been playing up mid, but it is a hero that you can sometimes see in that one spot. So I think that's what that's about. They also ban out the PL, which we have seen Shinny play a lot on the Chumps people. So that's why that is getting the ban this early. The one thing I'll say about the Venge pick that I do like is that into a lot of those meta heroes, especially into the Drow, getting those swaps off can be quite game winning.
Yep, we also saw it as a very great Meepo counter in some other games. But so, a flexible hero nonetheless. Could be support, could be core at this point. Treant, I think, was banned last game, if I'm not mistaken, but this is like the support of the patch, so I'm told.
It's so incredibly strong, and again, it really does lane well with a ranged offlaner. The amount of damage it puts out, the slows, as well as being able to be a natural frontliner in a way that many supports can't. It's so valuable right now. The shard is incredible as well. So much going for this hero, and glad to see it picked up here. Going to be in the faithful hands of Jam Apple, who played it a bit last season against us, actually. And the next pick for the Chumps people, local man, Heinz Beamflicker is going to be on the Invoker, and the Jessert James Timbersaw.
Okay. I mean, into 2 strength heroes, into a tree. I don't mind the Timbersaw. The Invoker is a bit out of left field here for me. I am wondering if it's flexible to support for the Chumps, but even then I'd maybe hate it even more. I suppose if they've got a comfortable Invoker player, they can just pick it and then start building around it. Maybe look for a big AoE stun hero, controller hero, maybe the Faceless Void could come out. Just enable the Invoker a bit more in the assumed Ags build he'll be going for. What the hell is this, Runners
Dragon. Oh, I've lost this. They're going to pick
is
Oh,
a
this shit's
disgusting
horrible.
pub hero in our sacred Irish League, Premier official match. What's happening?
I hate this guy on Visage. I've laned into this so many times across my 3 seasons of IDL, and he is fucking good at this hero. I'll tell you that straight away. It is the thing we feared the most whenever we came up against him. His Largo and his fucking Visage. I will say Heinz Beanflicker Does play a lot of Invoker. He has 193 games of the hero. It's his 4th most played mid laner. Please forgive me when I say this, Mr. Bean, but he has a 37% win rate on it. The next pick up for 5 stars no brain, it's gonna be the Marta.
So Muerta, we've been seeing have a lot of success because it's good into Necro, who's also quite good at the moment. We've seen a limited amount of Muerta games when Necro is not in the equation.
5 seconds remaining.
But again, it's fulfilling this like ranged core role. It's pretty great with the tag team in lane if they choose to lane it in that way around. Although I'd be surprised if it isn't the Treant down there. Even in the mid-late game, the tag team's effective with it, unless she's. I think with the ult, the tag team damage gets applied before it gets converted, which means that it does crazy amounts of damage with the Muerta ult. I believe that's how that interaction goes.
That is pretty damn scary. And of course, being able to get off those hits through the Timber armor is something that's always really nice for that hero to have. Waiting on this next pick from the Chumps people, I imagine it's going to be the Pause 5. We've seen Gnome play the Venge for a few series, so most likely him. We're going to see a Witch or a Lich or a Snap, and we see the Snapfire. Now, possibility that this could be again the off-lane Snap, sorry, the safe lane Snap? No, surely it's a support, right?
It's. I mean, it could be support Invoker still. Like, yeah, I'm not ruling it out. I know how these teams like to funk up their draft a bit, but I'm expecting possible Snap for the most part here.
Most likely. Looking at these last bans, they ban out the Lina on the side of the Chumps people. They don't want to deal with that hero this game. They have liked picking up the PL in the past. Unfortunately, that is already out of the equation. They also ban out the Faceless Void and 5 stuns to stop that Chrono Cataclysm nonsense. So what do you think the side of the Chumps people are looking for here?
It's a little bit of a tough one. I mean, maybe they are still looking for a carry here that is. I mean, the Faceless Void's been banned out. That would really be my go-to setup for the Invoker, because they are still lacking this AoE stun for this Invoker Cataclysm combo, which I expect they would try and play for. If they're not playing for that specifically in terms of other carry options, what's their team lacking really? Their lockdown is middling, so they could do again more lockdown. Their damage is great. Their high ground push is poor. I really do think they are just looking for this kind of not to say supporty, but utility carry in this slot.
I mean, if we're looking for a big stun, there is still a Sven in the pool.
Sven's a tricky one. I mean, it's not really too much in the meta other than you know, Coral and Yotoro, the 2 Sven players that come to mind. And
I think I just think it's better than it is because I see Core on it so often.
Yeah, mixed success on that hero at the moment.
5 seconds remaining.
I mean, on the side of 5 stuns, I mean, they're waiting for their mid laner, right?
Yeah, most likely the mid laner pickup here. What would I like to see out from them? I mean, they've got a whole bunch of lockdown. They got some save. They've got decent damage, but they might be looking for potentially some jump and some damage. So maybe the straightforward pick for them is more of a spirit hero here, if that's something they play.
He plays a lot of Tiny. Tiny is his 2nd most played mid laner this game.
Yeah, I really don't mind the Tiny. It's an extra front line for the Muerta Visage. It provides the jump when you got a Blink Dagger build. And it's nice nukage damage, decent lane into Invoker. Yeah, I like the Tiny pick here if it comes out. The Chumps I think is a little bit trickier. I don't really see a clear, immediate, oh yeah, that's a good hero. Like even a straight carry to carry matchup pick here would be maybe the best they can hope for.
They do play Nature's Prophet quite a lot. It went banned last game. It goes unbanned so far this game. It can build a Hex for the Marta.
I don't mind it. If they want to play more tempo-y, like set the pace of the game themselves, they can pick the Nature's Prophet, heavily rotate around. It allows his Invoker to chill out a bit and farm up for his late game timing. So yeah, more active carry I like. They are just going to run it back with the Drow though.
I mean, this hero is so good right now. I
It
don't
is
love it
so
this game,
good,
but
yeah.
it's so good.
It could be a
Did-
tricky one. I don't know how the matchup is into Muerta. Like, obviously, Muerta has the ult
10 seconds
that
remaining.
I think is great into Drow. The Visage lane,
5
I haven't
seconds
seen
remaining.
a Visage lane in quite a while, I'll be honest, run and tell. So, I mean, Visage plus Tusk into Drow seems scary.
It's also made more scary by the fact that, you know, Dragon on this Visage, he really is very, very experienced on it. It is something that he's historically picked when his back's up against the wall, and I know I'm speaking from a bit of personal trauma here, but I really think that if anyone in Division 2 is going to show a strong showing on this hero, it's going to be Dragon. So I think they really need to address that problem early and really shut down this Visage. At least they don't do their classic thing they used to do where they pick the Visage with the Skywrath Mage, which was fucking gross. The Viper, the utility carry, comes out as the mid laner for the side of 5 stuns.
Yeah, I can see why they picked this. They picked this into the Timbersaw.
5 seconds
Fine.
remaining.
It should have a good lane into the Invoker. I think traditionally, actually, people would argue that Invoker can win this matchup, at least if you get off to the early lead. But I suppose that's maybe something that's reserved for the Div 1 tier games. I'd expect at this
Um,
level the Viper to just kind of take over the lane as expected.
Auntie, it's
Yes.
Shakobo on the Invoker. That's the 4.
Right.
So it's a mid snap and a
It's mid
4
snap
Invoker, I
again.
believe.
Okay. This changes
Does that
things for
change the
me.
equation?
Yeah, I think it does. I really wasn't feeling good about the Invoker pick, especially if it was core. I don't really feel like they've got the setup around it to make use of the Cataclysm in the late game or even the Sunstrikes in the laning stage. I feel like this is a bit of a non-starter hero. Swapping it to the 4 position, I think, is the best they could have done with it after picking it second here in the draft. Potentially going this Mana Bunny build into stuff like the Viper, who, you know, his mana pool's not that crazy. You can just burn him out with an EMP and dilute his effectiveness. So I do like their draft a bit more after realizing that. And again, with the Snapfire being core, we can see how tanky it gets after a few items. So maybe that solves some of the problems the Drow was going to expect.
Prepare for
So
battle.
I actually really like that they've chosen to do that.
Let's see what they're able to do in this game, folks. A reminder, this is a best of 3 series. Game 1 did go to the side of 5 stuns, no brains, but the People's Champs really showed themselves to be a dangerous team in that game. We came into this one thinking to be a bit one-sided. Let's hope we get a game anywhere near as exciting as that first game, and I'm going to be a happy bunny, Mr. Ante.
Yeah, I mean, we got some vicious heroes coming out here in game 2, so I expect we'll see some high skill cores and some high kill scores, as it were, in this game.
Ooh,
I think
bit of rhyming.
I think we will see potentially the Drow or the Muerta start to take
30
over the game.
seconds to
I think it really is how these team fights finally end up. Is the Muerta able to just delete the Drow at the fight, or is it going to go the other way around? And there's a lot of heroes around both of these cores that can make that happen. The Tree and the Tusk.
Trouble
Feeling
here for
like
the Drow as she doesn't notice that all these heroes are on top of her. Out comes the damage from the tag team as well as the dead shot, and Hines goes down immediately to start this game off.
yeah, I would say I think the supports, the Tusk and Tree are going to be the deciding factor here. I like them a lot more than the Invoker Venge support duo.
Can't help but agree. And now the Invoker Venge are staying around. They're doing
What
the
is this
classic Viper
gank?
maneuver where you keep your support bottom to get the level 1 kill when you see they have a really good offlaner. And I really like this play coming out from the Chumps. So they get a free kill onto Dragon.
Yeah, I mean, nicely done. Not sure Invoker was even needed for that, to be honest. It's just, but I guess, yeah, Timbersaw is going to be top. Means the Invoker doesn't have so much to do in the lane once he's got a few levels in. At least until the Muerta hits level 6.
Yeah, nice heads up play there. Gets the early kill on Dragon. I mentioned during the draft that was something I really wanted to see some pressure put out onto this very strong Visage player. First wave as well goes really well for Shinny, picking up 4 last hits off that first one on this Snapfire. It's worth noting quite a big MMR gap between these two, about 1k between them. Caldrama about 3k, Shinny about 2, so Would expect on paper to see Kaldrama pick this one up. Top lane, though, a lot of damage coming out here. They attempt the dead shot to Jesse James. It doesn't connect. Instead, it's Hammurabi being battered down by the slow right clicks of the Invoker.
Yeah, Jamapple stuck with the Vines level 1, which is not really what people are going for. I think this was just after the first blood attempt. So a little bit of a slow start will come out for this tree until he hits the level 2 and gets the root.
Yeah, good catch there. That is a really negative thing to have on your tree, especially when you want it using up, that level 1 leech seed is super nice to have in lane.
Yeah, you want to be
won't have
popping
that
out
for a little while.
the trees and punching this Invoker in the face, ideally, or possibly even the Timber while he's not got any levels in armor.
Indeed, so far a fairly even laning stage. In fact, slightly favored towards the side of the people's Chumps, as Shinny doing what he can to face off against this Viper. Soon you have the damage just clear these waves, and the effectiveness of the Viper becomes a little bit less strong.
Yeah, until that point though, I think the Viper's just gonna stand proud on the wave and click out. What the hell is this voice line, guys? Come on.
Money and bones.
Clear it up.
This is what I don't see often.
Who the hell is Grindleplit?
I mean, at least with some money into his back pocket. Go with this bottom lane. Nice use there of the double screen coming out from Nomi. A lot of damage onto Muko, but Dragon clicking away onto Nomi. Nomi does walk away from that one, though, so he will be staying alive. Hines taking a lot of damage there from the Soul Assumption coming out from the Visage. He has more stacks, and he pops off the use of the Shard there. It doesn't connect onto the Drow, though, so the Drow might be able to turn this onto Dragon. Indeed, she does. It looks like Muko's going to go down as well, as Nomi picks up the double kill. Not the start to the off lane that you want for your Visage.
What a crazy bait by the Drow. Had a massive stick, and the enemy team did not respect it.
Indeed, you have to respect large sticks, or else you will end up hurt, Auntie. Sorry, what?
Mid lane, looks like Shinny's gonna drop.
Indeed. He does pop the Fairy Fire to try to stay
okay.
alive, but he's still going to tick out, I believe. Oh, no! He's alive!
About. Just about.
Call this guy Frankenstein.
Back to base for the snap, though. Viper with a bottle is just going to regen up.
Yeah, more and more pressure going to be applied onto that mid lane now. The Viper has his levels. It'll put a lot of pressure out. But Jesse putting a fair bit of pressure on this top lane. Still very good CS for the Marta, but I think that's just off the back of having a better support.
Yeah, I mean, really not much the Invoker can do. Doesn't really combo great with the Timber either. I suppose he can drop an Ice Wall. That's looks what he's got queued up on the spells list, but it's Tree and Muerta, because there's only so much you can do here.
Indeed, but considering that, it's not been a bad start for Mr. Jessert of the James. Top lane, they're trying to make it go here with the Nature's Grasp. It doesn't quite connect onto Jesse or Shinkobos. They are able to walk away from that. Quick use of the Whirling Death there onto the Marta. Meanwhile, on the bottom lane, Muko being peppered in by arrows coming out from local Hines does manage to walk away from this one because he has now got a bit more distance. He doesn't have his boots quite yet, forced to buy more tangos.
Yeah, this is typical Drow lane, just clicking away on these enemy heroes. And then Nomi's just there to prevent any aggression out. We know that Muko +1, this Tusk in this bot lane. He's probably fiending for a few kills. Hey, Hammurabi.
Yeah, attempt to go into him. They throw out that cold snap afterwards, but the armor is there from the tree ent in time, so Hammurabi cares little for this. Throws out the grasp there from Jam Apple, but it's not there in time, so Shikobo completely unaffected by the use there of the Nature's Grasp. He's now gone for the 1-1-1 build on Treant, which is fine. You do need the armor this lane, so sensible enough. But I think we are definitely seeing the negatives of having to take the level 1 Grasp come out to play in this lane. He's not putting on the pressure you'd normally expect from a Treant. Bottom lane, they kill Muko again, but Dragon does finish off the Drow in return. So a good trade there for the off lane of the side of 5 stuns.
Yep. Spends 110 mana to do about 30 damage as well there. That was an interesting decision.
Indeed, his barcode is filling up though, so they need to be a little bit careful of that.
Scan that one out.
Tesco shopping ready to scan. You know, I once went to a Tesco with a dear friend of mine named Reese. I believe he plays for Team Britain, and he had just bought himself a new razor in a shop, and then went to buy himself a can in Tesco and re-scanned his razor, and it scanned. So he sat there and had to explain to the worker, I bought this in the shop but decided to scan it in yours. Can you please remove this razor?
Well, Reese gets up to his antics, right? In and out of game, bot lane.
Yeah, attempt to go out here onto the Visage. They don't quite have enough to finish off Dragon, and now the shards are ready from Muko. Catches up Hines, and Hines dies again on this Drow, going from a really good lane. It looked so strong in these first 2 levels, but it just hasn't kept up recently, Auntie.
Yeah, pushing their luck a little bit, you know. It's still a Visage Tusk lane. They've got to be careful here. Hammurabi got to be careful up here. Shikobo with the cold snap.
Does have the cold snap, but as you said, like, what does he do afterwards? Just kind of walks at them menacingly. Drops the ice wall. This could get a kill for Jesse potentially here, but no, it's just we're seeing the weakness of the Invoker support here. Like, that should have been kills for Jesse on any other support.
Okay, Jam Apple has 2 points in the Nature's Grasp, and I've yet to see him hit a hero with it. I really think this is a grief from the Treant.
Yeah, I agree as well. And Chikobo able to pop off that little use of the Ghost Walk there to slow down Jam Apple. Potential kill here for Jesse James. With the 2 levels in the grasp, he doesn't have the mana to even use it yet. He does pop his stick there, but I think Jesse's just going to pop him, and indeed he does. Chikobo getting the last hit on that kill there. So Hammurabi, though, not done yet. Has the dead shot. Fears back the Invoker. Nice play there, but a quick use of the Fairy Fire keeps him alive, at least for now. Might bait him into a bad position here if he's not careful. Does end up going down without getting other spells off. I don't think Jesse James has the damage to finish him off here, so he's forced onto the low ground to rush away from the Muerta, who will have another power shot in a second. The Shrine is going to be stolen. The Muerta is working straight towards it, and Jesse's forgotten about this one as the armor comes out onto Muerta.
I think you're pretty happy with this, as you're incredibly happy with the kill that Shinny just soloed onto the Viper mid. With the kisses, I guess.
Yeah, level 6 comes out.
Wow, man.
Indeed.
I'm missing kills all over the shop here. Run and Tell is too active for me. 6-6-6. You know what that means, Run and Tell?
Indeed I do. Unfortunately, we just need 1 or 2 more kills on both sides to get in the mirror match.
No, we just need 1 more kill on the dire sides, clearly.
You know, if you miss 6 more kills in the next minute, they'll hire you for the Esports Nations Cup.
Oh, really?
So if you're looking for a job,
I'll try my best for that.
The Invoker gank
score,
is
guys. Call it.
Expected. 6-7. Going on to Muko. Indeed. Indeed. Shinny is here, though. He has no kisses, though, and he is spotted out by that siege creep, so I don't think there's a whole lot he can do here. Yeah, I mean, I assume he wanted
down
it before
with
he died.
no boots all the way to the bot lane. What a waste of time, honestly.
Yeah.
No boots, and you walk all the way down there.
I mean, where would the slug wear the boots onto you?
That's true. Maybe I hadn't thought about that. What do you get instead? A couple wind laces?
I imagine so. Slugs love the wind. Good cookie in, but he's still in a lot of trouble as he's getting all these Viper attacks pressed onto him. These poison attacks just chopping him down, and Shinny in trouble, and Jesse James killed in the top lane and a solo kill as well. So things going from bad to worse for people's Chumps. Nice use there of the silence, keep himself alive. Might get the kill on Muko, but gonna go down straight afterwards. The birds, though, Dragon starting to show why he's so good at this hero. Full barcode as well from him. He uses the slow instead onto Nomi here. Here's the Invoker. Gets off the Sunstrike, but the damage is not enough. Nomi has a stun in 1 second. Does he get it off? No, he doesn't.
I think the Venge might have been able to get it off, but Dragron, this Visage, starting to peel away. No longer has the facet that gives you 1 billion gold every time you get a kill, but yeah, we can take a little quick peek at the net worth. He is second on net worth to the Muerta, who has had a great lane so far.
Yeah, definitely a much more dominant performance from 5 stuns this laning stage. 4k up already at just 9 minutes.
Yep.
I hate to say it, Auntie, but this Invoker is just, I think it is the difference maker in these fights. Just when he rotates, like last game when we saw Shinkobo rotate with the Pudge, such a difference maker, and just seeing him kind of almost squandered on the Invoker just feels real bad.
I'm surprised they haven't punished Jesse James more for this.
Yeah, doing what he can. Trying to get a kill here onto Jam Apple, but he doesn't have 6, and the Treant does, so he needs to be careful here. He could be caught up here with the ulti. There it is. The ulti's out, as is the ulti from the Muerta. Shinkobo stays alive for just a second. Jesse James does manage to get away from this one as a result of Shinkobo's sacrifice, but not what they want at this point. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Local Hines does kill off Muko and forces Dragon out of the lane, at least for now, but Dragon, in the meantime, does finish off those drums.
Yeah, Shinny TP's in, drops the kisses from the tower, and Draz's able to secure the last hit. I think, you know, this tornado from the Invoker did save the Timber's life, so maybe the Invoker's doing just enough to keep Jesse in the game. But the Treant's almost the same net worth as him. It's pretty bad.
Indeed it is. He's doing quite well in this tree on Jam Apple so far. When this tower goes down, it's going to get even closer, Auntie.
certainly is.
So far, a strong lead at the start of this game for 5 stuns. More of what we were kind of expecting considering the MMR differential in a game like this. Just, I think the Dragon Visage, I said at the start, but
Radiant's
getting
middle
6
tower
kills
is
in a
under
row,
attack.
forcing so many rotations. I mean, they basically brought all 4 heroes down here multiple times just to deal with the Visage.
Yeah, and it's not really worked out. The Drow's struggling so hard. It's usually a hero you expect to win its lane. But again, I'm looking at the support duo they've got. Like, it just didn't allow the Drow to play in this lane.
Indeed, they didn't. And in fact, it looks like their tower is going to be pressured down now with that newly, freshly minted boots and the Drum of Endurance on the Visage. Going to be soon going into those drum boots, one would imagine. He's queuing up the Phylactery first, though.
On the Visage, yeah. It's, what's better than 2-shotting heroes? It's 1-shotting heroes.
It's just such a scary hero when you start getting these levels onto it,
It's
especially when you
Invoker.
start building in towards that level 15 with the triple soul assumption timing. It's so strong. The Invoker could be in some trouble here as Jam Apple does reveal himself to his courier there. So they know he's there and they walk away from that one. Pops down the sentry ward in case of any Ghost Walk shenanigans, but the bottom tower is quickly wiped out by Dragon on this Visage.
Yep, expanding their presence in the map. Muerta's completely fine, all up and alone in the top lane. And who do they bring to Punisher, really? I mean, it's got to be a swap into Kisses, I think, rotation. So maybe we'll see them push out the mid wave here and then smoke top.
The Muerta now, with the Maelstrom finished up, is moving straight away into the Mjolnir, which suggests that she doesn't feel like she's under a whole lot of pressure. Feels like she's pretty safe in this matchup, having the Falcon Blade as well for a bit of survivability. It's going to be difficult to kill her, and now it's 6.4k net worth. Jump in comes, it's onto the Venge. They do drop the ult quite early, but Dragon is here with his fully charged Tesco Club card. The barcode is there, ready to chop down Nomi.
Yeah, I like just dropping the trained ult there. Just keep the tempo up for your team in the game. Keep the enemy team trickling down 1-by-1 kills. If the support's dead, they can't make moves on your carry as well. So, you know, it might look like a lot of commitment just for this support roaming out on the map, but it has ripple effects across for the rest of your team.
And it now means they might catch Heinz here. He is walking away. If he stops to farm this camp, he's going to die. And indeed he does, at least just for a second, but he smells something in the air that time.
Got 2 levels on the slow on trained, but doesn't want to press that one.
Yeah, it's been an interesting performance here from Jam Apple for sure.
Ups and downs,
doesn't choose to drop at that time, for sure.
But not as warm as the other players in the game, like, to their credit. Like, the other players, they're all 1 game into this series. Jam Apple just coming back from being subbed out.
Indeed, and these Visage Birds, they're hammering into this tower, putting a lot of pressure onto this bottom lane. The Chumps people, all they're able to do with their Invoker is just
look at this impact on the map.
farm up the jungle, man. Oh, it feels so... And we were singing Shakoba's praises so heavily last game on that pudge. He looked so impressive. Like, genuinely carried their early game on his fucking shoulders alongside Jesse James, but just haven't felt his impact whatsoever this game. Only involved in 2 kills so far.
And you can see it reflected in the net worths, how the lanes have formed out.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get as long a game as last time, but we've seen last game that this 5 stuns no brains lineup are certainly capable of throwing what looks like unlosable games, and people's Chumps are definitely look like they could also throw equally unlosable games. So I wouldn't stop looking just yet, Auntie.
I will keep my eyes open. You know, I'll put some metal stints between my eyelashes.
Attempted going to Shini. Nice swap out from Nomi. Keeps him alive. And now Jesse James in his inaugural fight shows up to get some involvement. There's the kisses. They're onto Muko. Jesse James, the Timber Chain, is able to finish off the Tusk. But every second he's gone is even longer for this Muerta to get even larger on this top lane.
Yeah, with the tower gone, the Muerta feels reasonably comfortable pushing all the way up here. And with the Radiant hero showing bot, can maybe look towards into going to the triangle. Might run into a Drow. We'll see.
Jam Apple there to try and place disengage. Yeah,
the 1v1.
Goes onto the Drow. The silence is there, but he still has the ultimate,
fight.
so he can re-engage afterwards. Jam Apple goes down first in this fight in the bot lane. Big damage coming out from the Phylactery with this big old Visage. And now he's onto Jesse James. There's the ult from the Viper. It's broken the Timbersaw. He is swapped by Nomi, but Nomi only saving him temporarily. They do drop off the ice wall which does get Jesse out of this one, but Shinny is going to go down on a turn, but he still picks up a double kill off the back of that fight. Decent fight for the People's Chumps, so 2 for 2. They're definitely happy with that at this point of the game, even if they do give up their mid laner to get it.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that off the back of the Snapfire. Like, obviously this hero is meta for a reason. With the shard, you can see 1,400 damage out from a snap in just 2 spells before getting dropped by the Viper.
Indeed, blown up faster than Lord Mountbatten on a boating trip right there, Auntie, and he's going to need to do that a few more times this game if he's going to look like he can keep his team alive. Jesse James right now on the Timber, just a little bit too poor to be able to really be the difference maker that his team needs him to be.
Yeah, Jesse interestingly built into the Kaya and is going for the Blink. I maybe would have liked to see the Lotus rush straight off the bat here, especially into Visage Viper.
Yeah,
And
that
the
would
tree
feel
as
quite nice to
well.
have.
I actually think it's a big
So-
mistake here from Jesse.
I guess he just sees himself as the only damage dealer, you know, so far. The snap has really been the only way we've seen damage come into these fights, so Jesse might recognize that and say, I need to be able to blink in, do some major damage onto Dragon, and kill him before he gets off these big soul assumptions. But so far, not looking great. And I said this before, the real timing to watch out for on this Visage is the level 15. This is a hero you don't see that often, but when this hero gets level 15, those soul assumptions get 3 targets in every fight, which when you have the phylactery build, I've seen Dragon destroy games with this.
Yeah, that seems pretty strong. And, you know, even if Jesse does get this blink, because of the Visage Cloak passive, Jesse's first round of burst damage spells are not going to do too much damage to the Visage anyway.
It's true. The damage reduction per layer is really nice into these high burst heroes. Feels like there's unanswered. Mr. Invoker is sitting under a ward. The blink reveal here from Cow Drama. They drop it immediately onto the Invoker, and he's going to go down. Killing spree now for the Viper, who pops a haste rune and moves immediately towards the mid lane, where the Snapfire has moved back immediately after seeing that big Viper kill.
There's a flying snake coming at you. That's not what you want to see, especially a venomous one, poisonous one, acidic one.
Feels like something they'd have in Australia. You know, we'd have to ask Solar Crest. They definitely have some form of flying snake.
I can see it.
Yeah, right?
I could really see it. He's probably deals with those all the time. They just like get into your house. You gotta call a guy up. And he gets his big stick and a bag out. He just with his bare hands wrangles the snake.
I don't fucking worry about it. I went very Scottish there. Fuck me, man.
No, that was alright.
You don't fucking
kind of on...
worry about the fucking flying snake. It's normal. Just ignore it. It doesn't want to fucking hurt you. Is that good enough? I don't know if that was.
Yeah,
I did my best, you know?
I think that's good enough.
Thank you, thank you. Attempted use here, the Tornado. It doesn't connect any heroes. There's the slow from Jam Apple, but showing himself so close to the tower means that he's dead already. Jesse James, the newly minted Blink Dagger, is enough with the kisses to kill off Hammurabi. A really important kill. Can they put that into a kill onto Dragon? Flying as fast as he can away here, but Cowdrum with the boots to travel. Blink is here. Jesse needs to be careful. There's a follow-up way there. The break is on top of him. The swap is ready from Nomi, though, and he gets off that swap. They try to use the big... Oh, there is the cookie coming off the Snapfire. It's onto Dragon. Once again, this cloak passive making him just too tanky. Nomi is the first one to go down. Can Jesse finish off Dragon? Yes, he can. Big fight for the Chumps people. Muko, though, clicking down Jesse at the back of it, making it a little less nice for them, but still about a 1,600 gold exchange off the back of that fight.
Like, this fight made the Jesse build look pretty good, but I'm pretty sure most of the work with this Shinny Snapfire with the kisses over the top.
And it's not done yet as they start making their way onto the snap. Great use there. The shards not quite
shards.
connecting. Pushing those two heroes away, saving them, unfortunately, there on Muko.
Yeah, pretty unfortunate. I mean, they've shown that they've got the damage to take out Hammurabi. Like, they just need the kisses plus 1 stun, and it's enough to kill this Muerta, especially pre-BKB. The Muerta still building up at the moment. It looks like it's what's flying out here? Dragonlance. So Dragonlance Mjolnir finished up. Might consider the BKB next. Yeah, queued up.
Yeah, once that Mortar has that BKB and start coming to these fights, it's going to look very scary. And Heinz, Bean Flicker, by comparison, a fair bit poor, will be picking up the Aghanim Scepter as their next item. So if they can stay unjumped on, can do a lot of damage in these team fights. The question is if it can stay unjumped on. When you have the Blink ready on the Viper, when you have the Blink ready on the Tusk, when you have a tree ant marching through the trees, it just feels like it's a very difficult proposition, this game, Auntie.
Yeah, I gotta say, this ancient farming is looking so painful for local Heinz. I cannot believe that they're spending so much time doing it. Like,
Yeah,
please go hit some creeps in the on the map. You can the whole point of Drow. You can multi-shot the creep waves from the fog. The enemy team can't jump you if you do that. It's like reasonably safe to do, but instead they spend like 2 minutes farming this one ancient stack. They're not gonna catch up doing this.
We have a note in the chat from Solar Crest, our resident Australian, who says the snakes jump from the trees. I mean, is there any other tell that a continent was just not meant to be inhabited than fucking tree snakes that jump out at you?
No,
Like, surely that's like a human shouldn't live here type shit.
I actually recall seeing like an Attenborough documentary about the snakes jumping from the trees and just like gliding through the air.
The fuck, man. I'm so glad I live in a country where we destroyed all biodiversity 500 years ago. That's one thing, you know, I gotta say, the British Empire did do for Ireland. By removing all of our temperate rainforest, they do mean that there's no scary bugs in my garden.
I do agree. It's one of the pluses for living in these isles.
And of course, all natural, not a natural result of colonization, the move of natural rainforest. Nomi goes to swap there onto the Tusk, misses it, and then Visage immediately BM pauses him for
Yeah,
it.
Muko lag after blinking away from that initiation.
Yeah, I don't know. It
I hope
didn't
they
look very
don't
laggy
spam
to
these
me.
voice lines again. I'm gonna give them a draft penalty.
Money and bones coming out
Money and
here.
bones. What does it mean, Run and Tell?
I'm just shocked the side of Money Talks hasn't discovered this line yet.
That's
I think
true.
we need to bring it to their attention.
Keep it on the down low from this.
I feel like they really make good use of this line if they knew it existed. And an unpaused out of G1 ready from Local Heinz. Hey, he's on the other team.
Yeah, mission
Oh, they
control
gotta
to
go back. Oh, it was
Taylor,
there.
ban
It
these
was there.
guys.
They did come in ready. It was just hidden by hundreds of Money and Bones. Jumping onto Shinjuku, but he Viper strikes the creep. I don't think that's going to keep him alive here, but good kisses there afterwards. The tornado actually delays the damage of the kisses, so a little bit of counter synergy there. Force BKB out on the Viper. Goes to the cookie, but doesn't connect to the Jam Apple, which now means that Mr. Caldrama is here on Shinny. There is the Shadow Amulet to keep him alive temporarily, but they do have the wards there. Great swap coming out from Nomi, at least to keep him alive temporarily. But the Polar Punches here, which means Shinny's going to be right-click down, as is Nomi. Quick 3-0 for the 5 of 5 stuns.
It's maybe more how I expected these team fights to go. I mean, like, the Snapfire has to kill one of these horrible cores with the kisses at the start of the fight. And that does mean the Venge has to be there to stun. It's like the only setup stun they've got is off of this Vengeful Spirit.
Yeah, it's just felt extremely hard to get into this game for the side of the People's Chumps this game. And now with those big O boots finished on the Visage, with the pipe, with the phylactery, they can start really pressuring out this map. They've taken all but one of the tier 2s so far, Auntie.
There's always time for cleaning that last one up.
Even more Money and Bones coming out here. TP away from the Drow.
I'm losing my mind here.
Great TP from the Drow there. Really heads up play from Heinz, from Local Heinz, to recognize that they were being ganked immediately by about 3 supports. So just get out of that one. And moves into the spot lane where they will continue to try and farm, but the networks are telling a very different story with the Drow sitting bottom of the cores.
Yeah, I mean, the Drow's just a couple minutes behind on farm, really. It's going to try and catch up. Like, you can see now, multi-shotting the wave with the Aghanims from the fog. And it's safe. It's a safe way to farm as the Drow. That's why this hero is pretty good at the moment. Even from
I'm getting some anger in the chat, Auntie. Mr. PK is very mad at me, saying I'm a West Brit bastard. One of the good things, there fucking was no good things. Counterpoint, the fence they built around Dublin and Kildare to keep us away from all the country folk. Best thing ever. We should bring that back. Rebuild the Pale is what I say. Keep the Longfordites and the Roscomians away from my fine city. Do not allow them into the College of the Holy Undivided Trinity of Queen Elizabeth.
I suppose what you're saying is, you know, we got all of these parties in politics, and you're starting rebuild, I suppose.
Rebuild needs to happen. We need to block away Dublin from the rest of the Muck Savages. We need to do it now, and we need to do it fast, Auntie.
Alright, well...
That's going to really upset PK in about 2 minutes.
It'll cost about as much as HS2. Let's put that on the money draft.
Hey, HS2 is a very valuable project. It's going to turn an hour and 20 minutes drive to Birmingham into a 40-minute train. That's useful, right?
Well, I heard it's going to turn a 2.5 hour train into 2 and 20 minute train.
That's incredible, man. I'm so glad. And the fact that they're not expanding it to the places they built it for.
I can't
Beautiful.
believe it. The Northern Line.
I-
I mean, you know, maybe things will change. Maybe it'll get completed within our lifetime. But this game
Big
is
Andy
definitely
likes the
getting
North.
completed in our lifetime, Run and Tell. They're looking to close it out.
Indeed, 21-14 right now at 25 minutes. 14k net worth lead for the side of 5 stuns. They are very much in the driving position. Pedal to the metal, stay water, Johnny. Full acceleration as they move towards this base. And they come in with a jump onto the one hero they can't catch at the start, which is this Snap. The Snap is immediately bailed out there thanks to Lotus Orb. Does reflect a lot of damage, but there's going to be no kisses in these fights unless we see a buyback. And now the side of 5 stuns are raining in onto the base. The Visage Birds hammering down this tower. The Viper as well did build into the Shard, which increases their push quite a lot. A lot of damage onto Hammurabi. He does still have the Aegis. There is the Sunstrike to finish him off once at least. There we go, baby. But they're back and ready for more. Ready to keep pressing down the space. Shinkobo silenced off the back of the Calling. Calling actually causing huge troubles to the heroes trying to come into this fight as Dragon just able to stick his birds on that range rack and very little they can do to stop this. Jam Apple trying to throw some stuns to the backlines as well. They do take out one of the Dragon birds, but Hammurabi is there to finish off the first little range racks. Now the melee racks being shot down. Combination of this Viper as well as this Marta kills it so quickly. The meatball comes down. That's a Moray, but that's also a mid barracks going down in favor of the side of 5 stuns, no brain.
Yeah. It's looking like a 16k lead.
Very different game to the game one of this series, Auntie, I'll be honest.
It is. Maybe just off of the draft, really.
I'm seeing a lot of hatred now in the chat for the comments I made approximately 2 minutes ago, but I gotta call out one of them. Taylor Dota says, bring back Interb without Dubliners. Chat, I want to reveal this to you. While I was casting with Taylor last week, he didn't know what Connacht was. One of the 4 provinces of Ireland. He did not know what it was, that it existed. He's like, it's like one of the places, isn't it? That's all he didn't know what fucking Connacht was. So if I'm being called a West Brit, he is just a straight up Brit. So clearly, he should be getting the hate here rather than me, Auntie, is what I'm trying to say.
That's true. Farm some chat interaction.
You got to do that, you know. And if you aren't following yet, we have quite a lot of viewers in the stream tonight. If you aren't following Dota Ireland, I promise not all of our games are as one-sided as this one. It's been a great series, but this game not looking as hype, Mr. Auntie.
I mean, what can you do? There's only so much you can do. I think game 1 maybe was just a diamond in the rough here, and this one going a bit more as expected. I think it is the draft really that's letting the Chumps down on this one. If the Faceless Void wasn't banned out, I could see it being an okay Faceless Void game. Like, I think it lanes decent enough into the Visage Tusk, and then you've got the carry matchup is maybe in your favor. But I mean, forcing this Invoker onto the Pulsar, you've seen the amount of impact he's had. It's not been great. The Drow didn't have a lane to play in. It's just fallen apart from the start here. So from the draft.
I think we're seeing the manifestation of one of the issues that you highlighted very wisely as always, which is that the one in this game needed some form of lockdown to protect the Snapfire. And with just the Drow, especially being as underfarmed, as frail as she is, hasn't been able to protect this Snap in the fights. It's been taken out first every fight, and as such, they just lack the damage, even with Jesse James and the Timber, to be able to kill any of these cores.
Yeah, Jesse does have the Lotus, but I think he's just not strong enough to frontline for his team. They're going to try for it.
Yeah, he jumps in. He's immediately chopped down. Nice use there, the swap, but it's not enough. 3 quick kills. Buyback comes out immediately from the Invoker, but buyback for what? For what, Auntie? As they take down this lane of barracks. Leave just 1 barracks left, and they call it early. GG is called. The side of the People's Chumps are eliminated from Division 2 of the Irish Dota League Season 7.
Yeah, commiserations to the Chumps. I mean, game 1 was very impressive from them in a series where they are like seeded significantly lower. But 5 stuns, no brains, continuing their run. They were looking good in the group stage, and they're continuing to look good here in the playoffs.
Indeed they are. They face firm opposition, though. They move forward in the bracket, but they move forward to face the second highest seeded team of the tournament, that being the Fost team. So a very difficult game ahead for them. Commiserations to the Chumps people, Jesse, James, and the gang. Put on a really strong performance in that first game, but just couldn't pick up that draft for game 2.
Yeah, and I've heard the rumors running tell we might get a little exit interview from the Chumps, from the People's Champ himself potentially here.
I would be shocked if we didn't. I would expect nothing less from Mr. Jessert of the James, and here he is, Jesse. Jesse, that first game was incredible. How are you feeling?
Fucking shit, man. Fucking hell, dude. We're so fucking bad at Dota. Oh my god. First game hype as shit. Yeah, second game that was a poor performance. I'm sorry about that.
We were looking at the end there, and we think a lot of the issues weren't necessarily the plays. We think it might have been a bit of a drafting issue in game 2. The Invoker 4 just felt like it was really hard for it to do anything for you in lane, and it just kind of seemed to snowball from there, right?
Yeah, they definitely outdrafted us for sure. We wanted to pick the Spectre, but they banned that on their last ban, because obviously Spectre's a huge counter to Muerta. And then, yeah, we don't know how to fucking play against Visage. Nobody knows this hero, dude. He shows up once in a blue moon.
As a fellow PTSD enjoyer from fucking years of Dragon Visage, I've played against this for 3 seasons. The second I saw it, I wept a single tear for you, Jesse.
This was, yeah, the little, because we had planned, as you saw, we tried to first blood them, but they ended up rotating all the way fucking around the map, I guess, and first blooding our drow. But we have faith in the Invoker P4. It's just, yeah, Treant is a very strong hero at the moment. And I didn't have a strong start to my lane. If I had a stronger start, we could have probably eaten this tree a bit more. But I don't know how to lane against Mordo. They simply attacks too fast.
I suppose my next question then for you coming off the back of this series, I mean, this is your first time playing with a lot of kind of your friends this season. Was it a different feeling than playing on stacks of kind of more traditional Irish Dota League players in previous seasons?
Yeah, it was a lot more toxic. There were basically 0 good vibes, I would say. No. When we won, we felt sort of all right. But in one of our previous games, in one of the ones we fucking lost, my carry went no communication for 25 minutes. He muted his mic and deafened us, I think. So, you know, when and we're so fucking shit at laning. Oh my god. But no, it was fun. I don't know if we'll be doing it again. I might go back to just employing Faust to carry me.
Auntie, you have anything like to ask?
I mean, I think I don't really have any questions for you, Jesse. I'd just like to say, I mean, this game 1 was a fucking pleasure to watch. So thank you very much for the.
Game 1 was hype. I think was there 9 buybacks in one fight or something?
Oh yeah, something ridiculous, and the kills per, it's like 2 kills per minute the whole game, like all the way up to the end. So maybe one of the better matches we've seen out of IDL this season, I think.
That was a lot of fun for sure. A few unlucky misplays from us. But God, I love late game.
Yeah,
I gotta say as well, you know, throughout the seasons, Jesse, we've seen you on a lot of different stacks. You know, you are the Nicholas and Nelka of Irish Dota.
I don't get that reference.
He's a footballer who played for like 50 clubs. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
But in any actuality, here's your chance. Do a public advertisement for picking you up for next season if you think this sack is going to implode.
Well, I might go back. I sort of started having my boys. I got my Faust, I got my Bicep. You know, maybe Krun if he's around. Sabotage. You know, I can pull guys. I can pull decent players.
I'm gonna accept that one. I can also pull guys. We're all a little free here in the Irish Dota League. It's just what we do, you know.
But it was either I was like, I'm gonna take a break. I'm not gonna play this season unless like my OG stack plays. And so they decided they wanted to. They were pretty happy about it, and then the first game happened, and they were like, "Fuck you." This is a
With
mistake.
that, Jesse, we might let you go. Any last words before we finish up here?
Yeah, just shout out to my team. Shout out to fucking local Heinz. I think we've got close to 4,000 games together. Shout out to my carry who turned into our mid laner because he kept losing lane. Shout out to Nomi for fucking. He like sat us down and he said, "Fuck you guys. You need to work on your communication. I'm sick of this shit." And then shout out to Shakobo, who when we don't pick him Jakiro, he does very well. Thank you,
Jesus
everyone.
Christ. This is not the intro I expected. I thought, with all the voice lines and stuff, that this is like a positive, fun team.
Money and Bones. I'm pretty sure we tilted ourselves before with Money and Bones.
It's June Squad Junior too. Jesus Christ. Right, anyway, thank you, Jesse. Enjoy the rest of your evening. It's been a pleasure
Yeah,
watching
good luck.
the season.
Thanks for casting. Good luck to the next teams. Bye bye.
No worries, Will. Catch you later. There has been a request for a winning team interview as well, but I think we will stick with just the one for tonight, Auntie, shall we?
Yeah, I think we're flagging a bit here, and they will certainly have more games to come in the future of the bracket, so we can wrap it up here, run until.
Indeed we can, folks. This has been a series in the Irish Dota League, a community-led organization trying to bring some fun and some good vibes to the online tournament scene, as well as in-person events in Ireland. We are going to be announcing some really fun, both online and potentially in-person events very soon. If you are interested in attending, you do not need to be Irish to take part. You just need to know an Irish person. Sounds like Jesse James is looking for a team, so feel free to send a message, or to any of the Chumps people, from what it sounds like. Please do join the Discord. It is continuously spammed in the chat. It is also in our description on Twitch. I have been Run and Tell. That is those boys eliminated. 5 Stuns, No Brains will face off against the side of the Fost team in the next round. We hope you've enjoyed this evening. Thank you for spending it with us. Have a nice, sweaty night in this heat wave. We'll see you soon.
Bye.